Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey, y'all. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here this Saturday. I'm so glad y'all are here. Just me. I hope you feel better so that you'll be listening. You're too sick to think. That's horrible. I hate that you're going through that right now. It's good to see you, though, and I hope you feel better. Good to see you, Southern Cats, and Shelby and Edith. Mark the Shark, I saw shared your milestone. Thank you for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate the continued support, and I cannot wait to become a member over on your channel when you get there. You are doing great things. Keep it up. Mimi, good to see you. Cindy from sunny South Florida. It is good to see you. Pointer Lover and One Sunny Day. Great to see you. Texas Woman, good to see you. Mama Jax, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. Mark the Shark shared his 2-month member milestone and said, hit the like button. Yes, twinkle, twinkle, baby, over to that thumbs up if you do not mind. Kane's Nana, Hio Sandra, good to see you. And Kim Gettle has entered the chat. Good to see you. And thank you for, did I? Oh, no, we got to fix that right now. Thank you guys for being here. Hold on just a minute. Let me fix that. Lord have mercy. Y'all, I try to type with these nails on and it is a whole entire thing. See? And look, the I is not even by the Y. What was I even thinking? Okay, there we go. Now it's fixed. I had to fix that. Oh, thank you, Mark. Love your work ethic too. I hope y'all had a good Halloween. I hope that you went over to Duchess's live. I caught the last 5 minutes of it. And I appreciate you guys going over and showing support. I was told that some people were looking for me. I sincerely apologize for not being there. Hey, Hannah, good to see you. We, y'all, let me tell you what happened. Hold on. Okay, so Stephanie, good to see you, love. We took the kids out, got them all dressed up. I have a picture, but I haven't debated. I've debated on whether to post it or not. I don't know if I will. So we took the kids out. There was we stopped at like about 3 or 4 places, but that was it. Like we even rode through downtown, and I remember like downtown, the little shops, like in downtown in the city downtown little shops would be open. They would have their storefronts decorated for Halloween, and there would be people sitting outside, and you could just go and load up. Like my kids take pillowcases. And there was only about 4 houses doing anything. And Mr. Speculating has suggested, like, instead of going out, maybe we should go to this place that's on the far end of town, like outside of town on the other side. And this place is really cool. It's got like skating, bowling. There's a bar there for people who drink. We don't drink. A movie theater, all kinds of things like in one place. So when that wasn't going on, we decided to go down there to see if anything was going on. Hey, Ruth Ann, good to see you. Little Red, good to see you. Good to see you. I need you. Yes. So I will send you the link to Patreon. I have my moderator working on getting the 4th video uploaded. The best way for me to send you everything is going to be to give you the link to Patreon and you just download it because everything is for free. I don't know how else I can send you everything because if I try to email it, it won't let me. You didn't hold on just a minute. Sorry, my neighbor was at my window. Scared me. Okay. So there wasn't hardly anybody out. So we decided to go down to that place and see what was going on, and they were having this thing for like $30 per person. It ended up being kind of expensive, but from 4 to like midnight, you could you got to skate, you got to play laser tags, throw axes, you got $10 for the arcade, you got a game of bowling and a movie. And so we paid for it. We got there at like 8 and we paid for it and we stayed all the way till midnight. We skated. Me and Mr. Speculating skated for the first time. Actually, since we've been together, both of us, it had been like 30 years. We got out there and skated with the kids. They had a blast. We threw axes and then we went and watched the Black Phone 2. That movie is like so good. It was so good. One of my children was crying at the end of it. We were almost all crying. It's a great movie. Like I thought they did a really good job with it. Um so when we got back it was like 12:30. So I did jump into her live at the end. But and I hit the thumbs up, but that's why I wasn't there, and I wanted to let you guys know that I apologize for not being there, but, I was focusing on the family because we haven't done that in a very long time, and it was great to see all the children out there skating and doing their thing in their little costumes. My daughter is into anime, and she was this one character, and she had, like, a Komodo type thing on, and then there was another girl there that had the same one. It was really cool. Kalisa, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, but I just it made me upset, though, because, like, what happened to trick or treating? Like, that was the best, and we where we went, like, there's people that are the ones that are doing it are going, like, above and beyond. Like, 2 of the places we went, they were making hot dogs and hamburgers, and were, like, giving out bags of chips and a hot dog and some candy for the kids. It was pretty cool, right? But, like, hardly anybody's doing it. It was really depressing, right? Like, I was like, "What is going on?" Like, we can't not have Halloween, y'all. That's not gonna work for me. Hey, Rubber Ramada, good to see you, good to see you. Yeah, candy prices are through the roof, and we had bought some. Okay, thank you, back chat. We had bought some. Okay, 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 you posted it in chat. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So we do have all 4 body cams up on Patreon, by the way, for free if anybody wants that, from the Crime Con thing. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. I know, I was so sad. Like, what happened? I can't do that. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah, there was it was really cool that the ones that were doing it were like giving out food and stuff too. I ended the live, went to cookout, and then got them all some food and we went out. We spent, for 6 people, $30 a person, and then we go to the movies, and of course they got to get their popcorn and their slushies and all of the things. So we spent a little bit of money, but it's okay because it was worth it to have that time together as a family. But again, I wanted to say thank you guys for going in there. And we had candy for them that they got. I think they got more candy from me and their dad than they did from trunk or treating or trick or treating. I did a $200 shop order for candy yesterday. Wow. That's crazy. We had tons of trick-or-treaters here. People bus kids in to come here, though, because it's a nicer neighborhood. Ran out of candy in an hour and a half, though. See, that's what I knew there was some places somewhere that were still doing things, and that's what I need to find. Ruth Ann said, I was out with my daughter, son-in-law, and my 17-month-old twin grandbabies, and my hubs locked in the house. Got home at 8, turned my light on, and we got 3 trick-or-treaters. I figured Friday night it would be busy. Right. Little Red said, we ran out of candy one time, 60 or 70 kids all in the driveway wanting their turn. So sweet to give out full size candy. It's just done by all on the street. See, that's where I need to be. I need to go where you guys are because, like, yes, please keep doing that if you can, because we need that. We can't not have Halloween. This place where I'm at, and places that aren't doing it anymore, I don't know what we got to get up out of here. Like, this ain't gonna work. But we did have a lot of fun when we went there. And the kids really enjoyed it. So yeah. When I say shop order, I'm a dasher and I shop for okay. So somebody ordered $200 worth of candy. That's crazy. Dandy, good to see you. We had a double homicide. Oh my God, at a party? Wow, that's scary. Oh my God, that is so scary. Mm, I'm sorry you're dealing with that. That's something. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. There's updates galore, galore. Little Red, if you're here, yes. Lil Red said, "Come on down to Austin, Texas, and go to the gated communities." Shh, don't tempt me. Don't play with my heart. We sure will. I still have candy, but I got rid of 2 jars. That's awesome. Ruth Ann said, "My sister's neighborhood is always busy, and we try that next year when the babies are older." That's awesome. I'm glad. Y'all, please keep doing it because I mean that was like my favorite when I was a kid, and my favorite are now even as an adult. My favorite holidays are Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving in that order. But it's all the fall holidays because it's so nice outside. Time for family. All of the things. All of the things. The gated communities are where to go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, now you gotta change them over to turkeys. You can leave them. We can use them again next year. Thank you for doing that and making all of the emojis for me. Okay, so we got lots of updates to talk about, several different things to talk about. So I'll just click on something and we'll see where we start. Let's start with Robert De Niro. We'll start with him. Gobble, gobble, baby. If anybody has leftover candy, please consider donating it to a food bank. That is a great idea. And I did want to talk about that for a minute. I've heard that it is the first and nobody is out here protesting. So I think something was made. I know that things were being filed to try to make sure people did not miss out on their food stamps this month. I do want to make a statement and say that if you are somebody that needs help with food, definitely check your local organizations. If you go to Department of Social Services, they will give you a list of food banks in your area that will have like the dates and the times and all of that. Sometimes carts, well, Department of Social Services transportation, you can schedule them to pick you up, and sometimes they'll come pick up people and take them to the food bank. I don't know if they still do that, but I know they used to. Um, and you can like local churches and things like that you can go to get food. I am not afraid to tell you that I have had to use food banks and things like that. My That's one of the reasons we got into canning. You will get stuff that like will go bad, fruits and vegetables, at least we do here. Um and that's when you try to can. So if you can stuff, try to do that. You When you have the money, maybe canning jars get some canning jars, like a pack of canning jars with a lid, and just have them put up so that if you get like a freaking 3-pound bag of tomatoes, you can can some tomatoes and then you can make tomato sauce later. You don't necessarily have to have a canner. You can put a rag or a piece of cloth in the bottom of a pot and set your jars on there, and then you fill the pot up with water to cover the jars, and then you just boil it. You can look on Google, it'll tell you how long to boil it per whatever you're canning. So those are always good things to remember. We'll talk about it more if we need to. I feel like that would be a good thing to try to spread information about that. Peaches McClure, good to see you. Good to see you. Food stamps are still cut off as of today. See, I need to look into it and we need to talk about it. We took babies to the NICU nurses Halloween thing they do, then a little trunk or treat. But next year will be better. Oh, I just meant my hubby locks himself in and won't answer the door. Okay. That's awesome though. I wanted, when I was younger, I'm gonna quit jaw jacking in a minute. When I was younger, I wanted to work in the NICU. I wanted to be a NICU nurse, but as I got older, I said I could not. It would be hard for me to take care of a baby and not get attached because usually the NICU, well, sometimes in the NICU, they might not make it, and it might be known that they're not going to make it, and that would be hard for me. Like I don't know if I could handle the emotional toll that would take on me because I would get attached. But the people who do it are extraordinary people, and I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some more out for you guys. I got a list. My grandson's school gave my daughter. If anyone in Knox, Union, Tennessee are interested, let me know. I'll put it on my community page. Thank you for that, Kim. Good afternoon, Lori. Good to see you. Some governors are using state funding to feed their residents. Yes, that's what I heard, which is good. And I'll make a post and we'll touch on it. I'll get some information together and let everybody know how you can figure out where to go in your community or how to find that information so that you can do what you need to do. And again, I just like suggest as bread frizzes. Bread is something you would get a lot at the food bank. Put it in your freezer. Pull it out when you need it. I mean, and I'm telling you this because these are sources that I've had to rely on in the past too. Like, don't be upset about it or anything like that. That like I said, when you have the money, get some canning jars. It's very easy to can. You don't even have to have special equipment. Um, and and you can freeze things and all of that. It'll help you get through. There's a federal law stated they must use reserves, not it was up to each state. So confusing. Oh, really? Yes, Cindy is feeding 70 local families for Thanksgiving, and they do it every year. And I need to get that link too because I want to talk about that when we go over it. So if people have extra and can donate, and I plan on donating as well, to that, to help because that's always important too. Turkeys, usually food banks will give out turkeys around Thanksgiving, and like it's really cool because we used one year, and like I went to the food bank not expecting anything, but because it was close, not expecting anything different, but because it was close to Thanksgiving, like that time at the food bank, they gave us everything we needed. Like it was really cool. Like there was candied uh there was cranberry sauce. They gave us a turkey. They gave us potatoes. They gave us green beans, cream of mushroom soup, like everything you need to make all of the sides. Corn. Obviously they didn't have milk or butter, but we had enough to go get the stuff that wasn't there. But it was really neat how they did that. And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. The exact link to the Amazon wish list Hio just dropped for Cindy's charity that is helping people. So yeah. Okay. So let me stop jaw jacking and let's get into it. It is Food Pantries of America. Cindy just dropped that link. Welcome to Food Finder, and she dropped that in chat, so you guys can go check that out. She also dropped USDA National Hunger Hotline, which is 1-866-3-HUNGRY, or findhelp.org. You can go there to get help with all of that, and we'll definitely spend some more time talking about it. Ruth Ann said, my son works for the federal government and won't get a paycheck until shutdown is going down, and he still has to work. Oh my God. Until shutdown is over. See, that's insane. That's insane. Yes, the hot peppers. I have been canning too. I made cowboy candy. I've made pickled peppers, and I've just like can't. I've dehydrated peppers. I've froze peppers, and all of the things. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot. What a blessing though, because it's food for later times. Really good, that sauce, that cowboy candy. It's like a sweet and sour sauce, and if you dip chicken nuggets in it, it is just like chef's kiss, amazing. I buy most everything starting a few months before the holidays when it's on sale. Also discount shop for the next year when the markdown canned goods. Yes, I go to Walmart about this time, right after Halloween, before Thanksgiving. You can check. They'll have toys and things that they mark down because they're bringing in stuff for Christmas. And so the markdown, like they'll have a section. It's usually in the garden section, and everything will be on clearance. And so if you just check about once a week, you can get a lot of stuff. We do that a lot. I've done that for a couple of years. My social work background comes in handy. Always, always beneficial. That's happening with the air traffic controllers and bases. Your mama too. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I appreciate all of you guys and your help. The Amazon wish list is for the older kids, 12 plus. They were able to cover the younger ones by Toys for Tots. Perfect. So the Amazon wish list is for children 12 and over for Christmas. Awesome. And we'll do that, and we'll continue to discuss it. Let me stop jaw jacking. Okay. So I saw this today and I wanted to share it with you. There are 5 people arrested in a case involving the overdose death of Robert De Niro's grandson, which Whoa, I didn't even know that that had happened. And I had to question, no offense to anybody or anything, but I was like, did Robert De Niro, being who he is, play a role in this? And then I kind of read through it, and not so much. I think it is important to arrest people um who are killing people, even if it is by accident, even if they are pushing substances that the person was unaware would be that strong and kill somebody. It's still very important for these people to be held accountable, because you can't do that. And so as I read, I learned more. I read a little bit of it, and I wanted to go over it with you guys. So, because there's some other people in here that I didn't know about either. So here's Robert De Niro. He appears to be, I'm assuming that's him at court. And I can't imagine his pain. You don't think that substance abuse affects everybody, you know what I mean? But it does. Substance abuse has touched probably everybody everywhere, you know? So I know in our chat, online, all of the places, substance abuse has touched everybody. And it's sad. It really is. We've got to find a way for these kids to have fun and to do things without substances. I don't know what to do to make it stop, but it's got to stop. This is another thing that will help it stop. If you know that you could go to prison for the rest of your life for selling something that might be deadly, you might not be as inclined to sell it. Abraham, good to see you. It destroys many, not just the end user. Exactly. It destroys whole entire families. It does. Don't victimize the victims. Right. Exactly. Um, okay. So the article reads, 5 people have been federally charged in connection with the 2023 overdose death of actor Robert De Niro's grandson and 2 others, authorities said on Thursday. The 5 men, all in their 20s, are charged in the connection with the overdose deaths of 3 19-year-olds in 2023, including Leonardo De Niro Rodriguez, Akira Stein, daughter of Blondie co founder Chris Stein, and an unnamed victim, according to a news release from the Drug Enforcement Administration. So his son was hanging out with his grandson was hanging out with the daughter of the co-founder of the group Blondie, and she also died of an overdose. Like I would have never thought, that it could. You just don't. You don't think that it could happen to people that, like, are so well known, but it does. I loved this kid hair. He was a cutie. All okay. And so, again, the 5 men, all in their 20s, are charged in connection with the overdose death of 3 19-year-olds in 2023, including Leonardo De Niro Rodriguez, Akira Stein, daughter of Blondie co-founder Chris Stein, and an unnamed victim, according to a news release from the Drug Enforcement Administration. The 5 suspects were identified as Bruce Epperson, Eddie Barreto, Grant McIver, and brothers John Nicholas and Roy Nicholas. They all faces they all face charges of conspiracy to distribute and possess with the intent to distribute fentanyl, parafluoro, parafluorofentanyl, and a prolozam. A prolozam is the generic name for, like, Xanax, resulting in the deaths of De Niro, Rodriguez, Stein, and the third victim. If convicted as charged, they face a minimum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. Epperson was arrested Tuesday in Troy, New York, the DEA said, while McIver was arrested Tuesday in Houston, Texas. John Nichols was arrested Saturday in Buffalo, New York, while Roy Nichols was arrested Saturday in Valley Stream, New York. Barreto surrendered to authorities Wednesday in Manhattan. All 5 have made their initial court appearances. De Niro Rodriguez's mother, Drina De Niro, previously said he died after being sold pills laced with fentanyl. The medical examiner ruled his death accidental, caused by a mix of fentanyl, cocaine, and other drugs. Quote, defendants who distributed the drugs who killed these 19-year-olds knew that they were deadly, unquote, Clayton said. Now, I want to know how they knew they were deadly. I mean, are we just assuming that they're deadly because they knew it had fentanyl in it? Or did they know they were deadly because people had like possibly overdosed, almost died, or had died from the same batch? I don't know. So I'm interested to find out with you guys. Hey, Chuckalegs, good to see you. Hubby's surgery went well. It's a good day. That's awesome. What a blessing. I'm so happy for you. It didn't get too deep. I didn't get too deep in it though. Oh, really? What'd you say? Recovery. Oh, sh- I got real bad deep in it. Real bad deep. Like I was saying yesterday, I thought I was going to be in the 27 club. Like I knew I was going to die at the age of 27. I knew it. Like I was real bad back then. Thank God I got out alive because others very, very extremely close to me didn't, unfortunately. Maybe one day I'll share the story. Shraddha, good to see you, love. Ruth Ann, have them reach out to 211 for Toys for Tots location now. If they wait, it may be too late. Thank you for that information. Okay. Prosecutors allege the 5 people arrested used social media and encrypted messaging apps to sell thousands of counterfeit prescription opioid pills laced with fentanyl to teens and young adults. Quote, drug trafficking organizations have weaponized social media in a way that allows them to expand their network, make more profits, and unfortunately get more people addicted to their poison, unquote. Frank Tarantino, special agent in charge of the DNA's New York division, said in a news conference on Thursday. One of the victims allegedly warned one of the 5 suspects arrested that the drugs they had sold her caused her to overdose, and she told him, quote, just warn customers in batch might be extra strong, unquote. According to federal court documents, she later died after another overdose, prosecutors said. Oh my God. So that, yeah, they definitely knew that the batch was extra strong. Okay, I was getting like hella text messages. Okay. Wow. Just warn customers batch might be extra strong. She had overdosed and then died of an overdose. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. The second victim died of an overdose 2 weeks later, and Deniro Rodriguez died of an overdose less than a month after that. So we got one person using it and then overdosing and then overdosing and passing away from that second overdose. So that's going to be probably a week. Then 2 weeks later, we got another person overdosing. And then less than a month after that, we got another person overdosing. So this batch of counterfeit pills was sold for a good month and a half, 2 months. And they knew it was killing people. So, yeah, they should absolutely be held accountable for that. Hey, Orange Rose, good to see you. Chuckalegs has been a member for 6 months. That is so amazing. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your continued support, and it's so good to see you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for 6 months of support, and thank you for sharing that milestone. You guys are awesome. I love our speculating family so very much. Oh wow, drug trafficking gone wild. How freaking sad it is. It really is. Kat, good to see you. My church is collecting food tomorrow outside Walmart. We signed up for 3 hours. We will distribute before Thanksgiving. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear about everything that you guys are doing in ways that our group of people and others are reaching out and trying to help. You guys are just amazing in so many ways. You never cease to amaze me. I'm astonished at what all you guys are doing. That's just such a great thing. You guys are amazing. You really are. Um, if you go down to your member thing, and it should say that you have a milestone that you can share, Lorianne. Like, you go down to where you would buy membership, and it should say you have a milestone to share, I would think. Deniro Rodriguez and his mother appeared in the 2018 movies, quote, A Star is Born and, quote, Cabaret Maximum. He was also credited with an appearance in 2005's, quote, The Collection, unquote. So this person was in movies. He got his grandson to be in these movies, and wow. Drana Deniro speaks out. Deniro Rodriguez's mother released the following statement Friday. Leonardo De Niro Rodriguez, our Leo, was kind, curious, and full of promise. He was a young man just shy of his 20th birthday with a bright future ahead of him. We miss him terribly. We know there are thousands of families like ours who understand the nightmare of losing a child or loved one to fentanyl poisoning. The recent indictments in relation to the wrongful deaths of victim 1, whose name has not been made public at this time, Akira Stein and Leonardo De Niro Rodriguez, is yet another painful reminder of an epidemic that has risen to plague proportions in the U.S. In 2023, there were over 100,000 overdose related deaths. Over Out of over 2,400 New Yorkers who died of fentanyl related overdose deaths, approximately 75 of them were teenagers and young adults between the ages of 15 and 24. No parent should have to bury a child. No family should have to endure the suffering of such senseless and preventable loss. We are grateful to law enforcement agencies, including the DEA, New York Division, and the New York Police Department, as well as many individuals whose work and dedication brought us to this moment. Their efforts mean more than our words can express. Thank you. We will continue to honor Leo's life and the lives of countless other children and young adults taken too soon by raising awareness, advocating for change, and working to ensure that other families will never have to experience this kind of heartbreak. In addition, 19 other people were federally charged with running a drug distribution racket in New York City's Washington Square Park since 2020. The 19 charged have nicknames like Scarface, Butter, Hollywood, and Heavy, prosecutors said. They face charges of conspiracy to distribute narcotics resulting in death. The indictment alleges that they, quote, maintained a year round market for opioids and crack cocaine in the park, adding the various defendants who have been arrested more than 80 times for drug related crimes. And when they were released, they returned to the park and kept selling drugs. Quote, the defendants are aware that their drugs caused overdoses, prosecutors wrote. Pictures in the indictment reportedly show the scene after two people fatally overdosed on drugs containing fentanyl allegedly sold to them from dealers in the Washington Square Park area. The victims included an 18-year-old who had just arrived in the city 2 days after graduating high school. My God. And a 43-year-old person experiencing homelessness who was found dead on a sidewalk. Law enforcement officials say the investigation into the park took 16 months and they would not confirm whether or not more arrests would be coming. They would only say the investigation is ongoing. How crazy, how sad, how awful. Paloa's mom, good to see you. Be safe driving, love. Oh, thank you for the super sticker. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. I haven't even accessed my live yet. Hold on just a minute. Look, it says I'm here. It's got a little arrow and says here. How cute! I've never seen that one. Thank you for sharing that. That's so cool. Hey, Anders, you come in with some awful wild shit, dude. Anders said Dr. John is mostly glad for Lauren's abundant gases. Since we're talking about that, we're going to jump over here to Olap real quick. I saw that he put Olap, him or her, put out a video, Dr. John fangirls over Brad Pitt. I'm going to share that with you guys. It's not a musical or anything. It's the excerpt of him fangirling over Brad Pitt. I will drop that link in chat for you guys. Since Anders brought up Dr. John and Lauren. Keep one of oh, yes, yes. Absolutely reach out for the Narcan, even if you just keep it on hand. I saved a neighbor from overdosing twice. That is amazing. Thank God you had it. I do keep Narcan in my vehicles as well. And a lot of times, if there's somebody at the gas station that asks me for money and I have any on me, I'll give them, a couple dollars and I'll hand them the Narcan too. Narcan is free. So get it and give it out. I mean, just give it out. all the places, all the things, anybody. If you see somebody asking you for money, even if you don't give them any money, give them some Narcan. Like you never know when it could save a life. If somebody, I mean, I wish somebody had been with the person that I loved very much who overdosed. Nobody was with him that day, but if we had been there, if I had been there, if I was still there in that situation, I'm sure I would have had it because I kept it on me. I kept it even when I was using. And you can hand it out just for free. I went to the pharmacy. I went to the CVS because I get gummies there for hair growth. Anyway, sitting outside, there was a Narcan and a little piece of paper for somebody who might need it. I think I saw one at the gas station too. It's great. It's a great thing. One sunny day says Deniro relatives dying to a substance nicknamed Scarface is ironic. Well, I think it was a person nicknamed Scarface that was selling the substances. Hold on, let me shut this door. I think Mr. Speculating is coming in and out. I don't want, oh Lord, don't want that TV to be too loud. My child is named from the famous Brad Pitt movie, The Western. Really? I'm named after an Allman Brothers song, Jessica. Excuse me. She's got 2 videos, does she? Okay. Yeah. I saw that this morning and I was like, "Oh Lord, gotta share that." I didn't advertise this, but we'll go ahead and share this real quick. I found this funny. Some of you might find it funny as well. Hold on. All right. Diddy. Um, if you are, we followed the Diddy case some, but Hio has put a lot on her Patreon in reference to Diddy. So if you guys are a member of her Patreon, you can look at all the Diddy documents. I plan to put them on mine at some point, but I just haven't had time. So definitely check out her Patreon if you haven't. Drop your link for your Patreon, please, if you don't mind. Definitely check her out for the documents Diddy related, 'cause she's got a bunch. So I found this Diddy's first job in his new prison reportedly revealed, right? So I was like, "Oh, what is Diddy doing? What's his trustee job?" So the article reads, Sean Diddy Combs is being put to work as he continues his sentence at a new prison facility after U.S. Weekly confirmed that the disgraced rap mogul was transferred to the federal prison in Fort Dix, New Jersey on Thursday, October 30th. New deals are being revealed about his life behind bars. Sources familiar with the situation told TMZ on Friday, October 31st, that Diddy's first job at the prison is in the laundry room, where he is expected to wash and dry clothes. Now, for those of you who have been to prison, which I haven't been to prison, but I've heard a lot about the people who do laundry. I don't know how that works, but I've heard in the past that um, men who men would have other men that they were in relationships with, they would be like, "You wash my underwear, you wash my clothes for me, and when I walk around, you hold on to my pocket." And they would like pull the pocket out of their jumpsuit or whatever, and their boy toy would have to hold on to their friend's pocket and walk around, or put, their hand in their back pocket. So knowing this, when I heard that Diddy was doing laundry, it automatically made me think, oh, he's going to have a boyfriend, but I don't know if he will or not. It's just a thought that I had. Yeah, have a maybe, maybe, maybe. That's the other video she did. Okay. Dick's, aka Glory Field Hotel. Diddy is fine. Awesome. Yeah. So I just found it very amusing that he was doing laundry. It says U.S. has reached out to the prison and Diddy's team for additional comment. Where is Diddy serving his prison sentence inside New Jersey's Fort Dix? Diddy's move to the low security prison for men that houses around 4,000 inmates came right before Halloween. According to the prison's commissary list obtained by U.S., Diddy will have plenty of sweets to choose from this holiday season. Classic candy bars like Snickers and Payday are available for $1.50 and $1.45 respectively. Chocolate peanuts will cost Diddy $1.60, while root beer barrels go over the $2 mark. Why does everybody so interested in them daggone root beer barrels? I never bought root beer barrels. They sound disgusting. But there we go with the root beer barrels. Let me grab a. You know why we talk about root beer barrels? This is why.
Yeah, yeah, gosh, something wrong here.
That is Stephen Stearns from Osceola County with the root beer barrels, not Gloryville. I probably read it wrong. I think Diddy will buy himself out of shit. Yeah, stupid money. Stupid money. If Diddy feels like splurging, peppermint twists are available at $3.65 each, while Jolly Ranchers will set him back a whopping $5.10 per pack. Diddy's commissary at the prison also has options for inmates trying to stay healthy. Snacks like unsalted peanuts, granola mix, dill pickle pouches, ultra fit bars, and dates are available for purchase. The priciest items on the commissary list include a $131 score at 7T tablet on which individuals can access music, games, and emails. The internet, however, is unavailable. Walking shoes are also available for $52 and headphones can be obtained for $36. Diddy's Halloween weekend will certainly look different from past years. While the rapper has previously gone out for the holiday by either hosting parties or dressing up in elaborate costumes, life behind bars doesn't have many celebrations. Diddy was arrested September 2024 on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, sex trafficking, and racketeering conspiracy. He pled not guilty to all charges and denied the allegations against him. In July, a New York jury found Diddy guilty on 2 counts of transportation but acquitted him of the other charges. A judge later sentenced the businessman to 50 months in prison. According to the Bureau of Prisons website, Diddy is scheduled to be released on May 8th of 2028. Diddy's lawyer, Timmy Grayagos, previously fought for his client's relocation to Fort Dix as he stayed in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Quote, in order to address drug abuse issues and maximize family visitation and rehabilitative efforts, we request that the court strongly recommend to the Bureau of Prisons that Mr. Combs be placed at FCI Fort Dix. He wrote in a letter to the judge. Diddy's team, who previously argued for a 14-month prison sentence, recently claimed that conditions in the MDC include limited access to clean water and lack of access to healthy or edible food, unquote. If someone you know has been sexually assaulted, contact the National Sex Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or 4673. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for confidential support. If you or someone you know is a human trafficking victim, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. That was probably the most important thing out of that whole article. All right. Let's go to a video. Some other updates. I've got. Hold on just a minute. No, not HTC. Melodee. There's an update in Melodee's case too, but I think we've talked about most of them. So what's that prison? It's Fort Dix in New Jersey. It's a minimum security prison. The first HTC musical video is number 26 on the hype list. That's awesome. Crystal, good to see you. I always try to hype videos when I go in if I have enough. FCI Fort Dix is a minimum friggin' security satellite camp. See, he's gonna have an easy time of it. Probably not as easy as Stefan, which makes me sick, but easy nonetheless. It only has around 4,000 total inmates. Yep. Let's talk about Jacqueline Mimi Torres. I am currently working on getting some information.
Just weeks after a little girl's body.
But I wanted to share this with you guys and talk to you about it. So Jacqueline Mimi Torres was found outside of an abandoned house. Her mother's boyfriend and aunt were supposed to be taking care of her. They took her out to homeschool her, and she was found, I think she had been abused and malnourished. It's a horrible situation. Out of, I wrote it down, New Britain, Farmington or New Britain. I do believe that would be Massachusetts, or y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Especially mine. I don't hype mine. I probably should though. All right, so let's see what the update is on Jacqueline Mimi Torres real quick.
Just weeks after a little girl's body was found in an abandoned New Britain home, new details are coming out now about interactions police had with the child's family months before.
News 8's Zuri Hoffman joins us live from New Britain with more on this tragic story. Zuri.
Well, guys, it's been more than 20 days since police found little Jacqueline's body stuffed inside a bin outside this abandoned home in New Britain. Today, more details about the times police interacted with the family at their home in Farmington, with Jacqueline's body apparently in the basement the whole time.
So it's kind of Kib Gettle on a side note said, "What do you think Lord is going to do when it goes viral?" My video that I put out with the body cam, because that's what we do over here. We show you the truth, regardless, without my commentary. It's at 11,000 views right now. Like, it started out at 2,000. Right now, it's 11,000 views. Like, that's pretty viral for that, I think. I don't know. I don't think she's real happy about it, but she appears to be have moved on. Thank you, Lori Ann, Connecticut. Once again, homeschool is most of the time. I don't know why they pull these kids out and say they're going to homeschool them, and then this shit happens. It's disgusting, especially for those of us who actually homeschool.
135 Wellington Drive. December 29th, 2024. Farmington police called to the home of Carla Garcia and Jonathan Nanita for a noise complaint. A few minutes later, Garcia comes to the door for a haunting exchange with police.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
We had a call. There's a lot of noise coming from your apartment.
They're always calling.
Okay.
Everything's good though.
Everyone's all right?
Except for little Jacqueline Torres Garcia, her lifeless body hidden in the basement.
You mind if I come in some other heat up? Hey, how's it going?
10 months later, Carla and Jonathan would be arrested and charged with murdering 11-year-old Jacqueline, Carla's own daughter. According
Who sent out? You mean a C&D? Busted Cannon Biscuits. Who sent out a C&D on October 31st? Lauren? And who did she send it to?
to warrants while being questioned about Jacqueline's murder, we now know police were called to their home multiple times for excessive noise and arguments. Carla says her daughter Jacqueline had been missing, but in this interaction,
You okay?
no mention of a missing child.
Yeah, I'm just pregnant. Just moods, you know.
Oh.
So that's what we get.
And neither one of the adults in the house gave an indication that a child was missing. That is a valuable piece of information when you're starting to look at prosecution.
Yeah, we always get names. David, been compared since we first moved here, so.
Warrants show not only did neighbors make noise complaints to police, one neighbor called the Department of Children and Families reporting possible abuse and neglect of a 10-year-old girl in the home, one of Jacqueline's siblings. Another neighbor who was a teacher telling police she noticed bruising on one child's body and believed Carla fraudulently sent the school a doctor's note.
We have the ability to now understand all the facts and circumstances. These officers
So there was bruises on another child's body and she faked a doctor's note? Really? It's completely unacceptable.
have no clue, zero clue. Number one, how many kids are in the house, or the fact that there may be a body in the basement.
Information that may have put these two behind bars even sooner.
I appreciate it. You know,
Sorry.
you guys have a good New Year.
Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
No problem at all.
Carla Garcia. I have the documents. We have the documents from this case. I think it's on the drive. I know that they're on Patreon. And I should have looked there. I don't know. I don't know if she was having her first court appearance and wore whatever they arrested her in or what. Those are body cams. So that's from before when the police were sent to her house due to noise complaints, and she's claiming, oh, I'm pregnant, so I'm moody.
Now, Carla later admitted to police that she believed Jacqueline was dead in the basement during that interaction with Farmington police. Also worth noting, also revealed in the warrants, that when police interacted with Jacqueline's father, he allegedly told them that he tried multiple times to see his daughter, but he was kept away. He also said that he was so concerned that he contacted the Department of Children and Families to do a wellness check, but they were unable to do so because they had no idea where exactly Carla was living with Jacqueline at the time. We did reach out to Farmington police to try to get more information about this case and to see if they would be available for comment. They said not at this time. For now, reporting live here in New Britain.
Okay, so the father tries to get an update on his daughter, and we can't find them. Meanwhile, this body cam footage is going on, and they appear to know that her daughter is missing, but she says nothing about it. Wait, hold on.
135 Wellington Drive. December 29th, 2024. Farmington police called to the home of Carla Garcia and Jonathan Nanita for a noise complaint. A few minutes later, Garcia comes to the door for a haunting exchange with police.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
We got a call. There's a lot of noise coming from your apartment.
They're always calling.
Okay.
Everything's good though.
Everyone's all right?
Except for little Jacqueline Torres Garcia, her lifeless body hidden in the basement.
You mind if I come in some other heat up? Hey, how's it going?
10 months later, Carla and Jonathan would be arrested and charged with murdering 11-year-old Jacqueline, Carla's own daughter. According to warrants, while being questioned about Jacqueline's murder, we now know police were called to their home multiple times for excessive noise and arguments. Carla says her daughter Jacqueline had been missing, but in this interaction,
You okay?
no mention of a missing child.
Yeah, I'm just pregnant. Just moved,
All right.
But that's what we get.
And neither one of the
So in this interaction, her child's missing. The police would probably know that when they go to the house. It should be in the police database. And meanwhile, Dad's trying to get up with them, lay eyes on her daughter, even called CPS to do a welfare check, and CPS doesn't know where they're at. Like, if that's true, the CPS needs to be working with the police to locate. We hear about this stuff all the time, but this is a father who cared and actually was like, hey, somebody needs to do something. I don't know where my daughter is. Like, why were we not communicating? Why, when CPS couldn't find where they were living, why didn't they contact the police and say, hey, we need to know where these people are living. We need to be able to find this child and lay eyes on her. That's weird for me. I don't like that.
adults in the house gave an indication that a child was missing. That is a valuable piece of information when you're starting to look at prosecution.
Yeah, we always hear things. David, been compared since we first moved here, so.
Warrants show not only did neighbors make noise complaints to police, one neighbor called the Department of Children and Families reporting possible abuse and neglect of a 10-year-old girl in the home, one of Jacqueline's siblings. Another neighbor, who was a teacher, telling police she noticed bruising on one child's body and believed Carla fraudulently sent the school a doctor's note.
We have the ability.
So that's another thing that's big for me here. There's bruising on the child's body, and she makes up a fucking doctor's note about it. and we just roll on with it. Evidently, she does. And I hope to God that I know they're safe now, that they're out of the hands of these monsters. I hope that they're able to get the therapy and counseling that they so desperately probably need. Um, phew, God, right. I mean, and I understand that CPS is overworked and underpaid, but like we can't be having people calling in wellness checks and not locating these families. Like absolutely not. Something's got to happen there. I don't know if the police and CPS need to be working together, but you would think they are, right? Because I mean, even a case that I'm working on getting body cam footage out right now on, they go, it appears to be CPS and the police go to this person's house because of allegations that are made. And if people won't let CPS go in, look at their house, lay eyes on their children, all of the things, they call the police, and the police will come and like say, we need to lay eyes on these children. um so why isn't that happening here? Like I don't understand. No comprehende. The police, CPS, and the family and neighbors handled this completely wrong, in my honest opinion. I'm feeling the same way. And if her body had not been placed outside of an abandoned house, would we still not know anything about this? Probably not, considering how long she was in the basement.
To now understand all the facts and circumstances. These officers have no clue, zero clue. Number one, how many kids are in the house, or the fact that there may be a body in the basement.
Information that
I don't think they should have known that there was a body in the basement, okay? But if the child was reported missing, I mean, at no point do how did that go? Like, my child's missing. You don't suspect the family at all. We're not taking cadaver dogs. We're not taking, scent dogs or anything. Because, like, am I misunderstanding? Didn't it say that they were reported missing? Hold on. We're going to take it back for a second. I'm trying. Uh, hold on. I think it's like right here.
According to warrants, while being questioned about Jacqueline's murder, we now know police were called to their home multiple times for excessive noise and arguments. Carla says her daughter Jacqueline had been missing, but in this interaction...
You okay?
So they are called there for noise complaints and etc. But and she had said that her child was missing. So what happened after that? Like, at no point, we know this child is missing, but we're not searching with cadaver dogs. We're not searching with scent dogs. We're not doing anything. We're just like, oh, okay, there's a kid missing from this house, and like, it is what it is. Thanks for making the report. We'll put a flyer out. Like, what the fuck? The neighbors, I don't think, could have done much more. They did call CPS. I think the authorities should have done more. I don't know what more the neighbors could have done. You have a point. That dude looks beat to heck. He did. I'm wondering what happened to him when he was apprehended, because I know he was on the run for a little bit before they got him. By the way, forging a doctor's signature is illegal too. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the reason I know that is because back when I would go to the doctor, they had pads. They would write on a prescription pad. And you don't know how many times when I was in my life of addiction that I thought about grabbing that pad. There was one time, there was one in the room I was in, and I almost grabbed that pad and I almost started forging me some prescriptions for some things. But then the person I was with was like, no, you don't want to do that. That's like federal prison time. Absolutely not. Don't do it. Sit on your hands, Jessica. So I didn't. The child in the basement and no one could smell. Like, yeah, she's in the basement. I'm not understanding. I'm pretty sure parents didn't report her missing at the time. That would have brought too much scrutiny. So that's what I'm not understanding, because the video says that she was reported missing. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe it's worded weird.
while being questioned about
Try it
Jacqueline's murder.
real quick.
We
one more
now
time.
know police were called to their home multiple times for excessive noise and arguments. Carla says her daughter Jacqueline had been missing, but in this interaction,
You okay?
So Carla says her daughter had been missing, but maybe not reported missing, and she didn't say anything at the time because it would have brought too much scrutiny. Oh, yep, my name is Jessica. Thank you. The neighbors had to smell that. Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, you would think, right? Like, I don't think she's covering it up with what was that pumpkin spice freaking body wash like that one was doing. The father reported her missing. Well, no, the father called CPS and because he could not get in touch with them, he could not basically lay eyes on his daughter, so he called CPS to do a wellness check. CPS says they can't locate the family. And so it just oh well, let's move on. We got other cases. Like how is that even happening? I don't understand. The police are in the home, right? But I'm assuming they didn't know that she was missing. As a neighbor, I would call police, CPS, the state attorney, the news, Jesus, to protect the child, right? I think they called CPS and did what they thought they needed to do. But yeah, CPS, it appears, just dropped it. And I don't understand how, because they get the police involved and come to people's houses. So why wasn't anything done on the back half of that?
Facts and circumstances. These officers have no clue, zero clue. Number one, how many kids are in the house, or the fact that there may be a body in the basement.
information that may have put these two behind bars even sooner.
I appreciate it. You know, you guys have a good New Year. Yeah, I'm sorry. No problem at all.
Now, Carla later admitted to police that she believed Jacqueline was dead in the basement during that interaction with Farmington police. Also worth noting, also revealed in the warrants, that when police interacted with Jacqueline's father, he allegedly told them that he tried multiple times to see his daughter, but he was kept away. He also said that he was so concerned that he contacted the Department of Children and Families to do a wellness check, but they were unable to do so because they had no idea where exactly Carla was living with Jacqueline at the time. We did
So I would love I'm not understanding why, we don't know where they're living, so we're just gonna roll out. Like, what? I have a social work background. I have a different skill set and experience. I never ever took no for an answer. Right. As you shouldn't,
reach
That's
out to
insane.
Farmington police to try to get more information about this case and to see if they would be available for comment. They said not at this time. For now, reporting live here in New Britain, I'm Zuri Hoffman, News 8.
That's so weird to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. Hey Brenda, how is your son doing? I've been praying. That's unacceptable, in my opinion. Unacceptable. We can't just be rolling the hell out because we can't make contact or we don't know where the family is. I don't. Okay, quickly, we will jump over here to. I will write my timestamp down, and then we'll jump over here to this article. This one I didn't advertise, but I found it interesting. This says death row inmate Stephen Bryant chooses firing squad execution after admitting to gruesome homicide. Spent 3 years on death row and more than 7 in prison for a homicide he didn't commit. I don't think that that's related. A South Carolina death row inmate convicted of killing a man and writing a message to investigators with the victim's blood more than 20 years ago, elected on Friday to die by firing squad. Stephen Bryant, 44, will be executed November 14th, making him the third man this year to die in South Carolina's newest execution method, according to a report from the Associated Press. Bryant had until Friday to choose if he wanted to die by lethal injection, firing squad, or the electric chair. South Carolina resumed executions in 2024 after the involuntary 13-year pause due to trouble obtaining lethal injection drugs. Since then, 4 inmates selected lethal injection and 2 died by firing squad. Bryant admitted to fatally shooting Willard T.J. Tahitan in his home, burning his eyes with cigarettes, and painting "Catch Me If You Can" on the wall in Tahitan's blood. Wow. Candles were lit around Tahitan's body, and the corner of a potholder was dipped in Tahitan's blood and used to write "victim" misspelled 4 in 2 weeks. "Catch me if you can" on a wall, according to officials. Tahitan's daughter called him 6 times, telling investigators on the final call a strange voice answered and told her they killed Tahitan. That's a scary picture. The state's death chamber in Columbia, South Carolina, with the electric chair right and firing squad chair left. So there's a chair? That's crazy to me. Not good. He will never get better. And my youngest son tried to. Oh my God. Brenda. Lord knows. God. They say God don't put more on us than we can handle. So I know you're a strong woman. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. I'm so sorry. If I could make it stop, I would. If I could fix it for you, I would in a heartbeat. But I'm keeping you in my prayers. I'm so sorry. That's awful. I'm so sorry. Prosecutors alleged Bryant also shot and killed 2 other men in October of 2004, one prior to Tahitan's death and one after. Bryant was accused of giving the men rides and shooting them in the back as they were relieving themselves on the side of rural roads. Bryant's lawyer said he was distressed before the homicides, repeatedly asking for help as he struggled with the trauma from being sexually abused by 4 male relatives as a child, according to the report. He allegedly tried to cope through drug use, including meth and bug spray laced joints. Bryant will be shot by 3 volunteers 15 feet away. A legal battle is likely following the execution, as attorneys for the most recent man who died by firing squad claimed the executioners nearly missed his heart, causing prolonged suffering. Witnesses reported several groans from the death row inmate, with it taking more than a minute for him to die, according to the outlet. Prison officials said executioners only have to hit the heart and do not have to destroy it. Since 1977, only 3 U.S. prisoners, all in Utah, have been executed by firing squad. This year, 41 men have been executed nationwide, with at least 18 more scheduled, according to the report. Hey, Kelly, good to see you. Your oldest daughter was born in Columbia, South Carolina? That's crazy. A lot of people praying for you, Brenda. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Okay, we've got an update on Austin Drummond. Still following this.
Drummond, the accused killer.
So Austin Drummond was alleged to have committed the quadruple homicide of 4 family members and then dropped a baby off in Tennessee in the middle of July during a heat wave in a front yard. He has been sent to prison or jail awaiting trial, and he claimed it all had to do with them. It was a gang, the Vice Lords, and they were delivering substances to the prison yard that was in the area of Tennessee that all of this happened. They were using drones to fly over the prison yard and drop things on the ground. He claims to have been working for the FBI, so it's important. This update is important. He claims that he was working for the FBI. He didn't shoot them. He was an undercover confidential informant, and he ran because he got scared after he saw the homicides. He claimed he took the girl to the hospital to have the baby that he dropped off in the yard. He would never hurt them. Brenda, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the super chat. Brenda said, "Thank you, everyone. I'm not staying." Okay, love. You do what you need to do. Thank you so much for the super chat and the support, though. That was very sweet and kind of you. And I'm going to continue to pray for you. Lord have mercy, honey. I just don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry, though. Yeah, you take care. And a lot of people, including Kate, good to see you, said sending you love and healing strength. Take care of yourself, please. Thank you so much for the support. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll continue to, like I said, try to support the best I can by praying for you. So here is our update on Austin Drummond. Okay.
Drummond, the accused killer of 4 family members in Lake County, will be moved to a prison within the Department of Corrections ahead of his trial on May 7th. Good evening. I'm Joyce Peterson.
And I'm Joy Redmond. Drummond appeared inside a Tiptonville courtroom today on unrelated charges he's facing before he was released from prison. Action News 5's Michaela Redmond has more from the courthouse.
Inside the courthouse, Judge Mark Hayes said Drummond's behavior has created problems at the Obion County Jail that now demands law enforcement to deal with and tolerate. Hayes also stated Drummond had quite the audacity to oppose being moved following his actions.
So he's getting trouble in the jail. He had to be sent to a different jail other than Lake County because of he said they were probably going to kill him because he was allegedly confidentially informing on the COs and the drugs in that jail to authorities. Now he's done showed his ass at jail and opposed being moved. Strada says, "We are here for you, Brenda." And a lot of people are sending you hugs. Thank you, Brenda, sending hugs and prayers. Thoughts and prayers going out to your family. We are here if you need us. Absolutely. You can't say the word execute in chat because my messages won't post regarding the South Carolina inmate. I don't know why. It's got to be a YouTube thing. Yes, you are prayed for. A lot of people are praying for you. So he evidently, allegedly, is showing his entire ass and opposing being moved.
He's had some disciplinary issues with possession of Suboxone strips while in jail, which is a Schedule III narcotic in Tennessee or a Schedule III controlled substance. He's also had some issues with covering his cell door with various things, paper and feces.
Following testimony Monday afternoon, the court found...
Whoa. We're just gonna skip past that? Like he didn't just say that? Excuse me?
Things, paper and feces.
Following...
Ho. Full stop.
Following his actions.
He's had some disciplinary issues with possession of Suboxone strips while in jail, which is a Schedule III narcotic in Tennessee or a Schedule III controlled substance. He's also had some issues with covering his cell door with various things, paper and feces.
Following testimony Monday afternoon, the court found that
feces? What are you doing, Austin? Why are we covering the door with feces? It's interesting because if we go back, hold on. Hold on. Here it is. If we go back here and look at his Facebook where he was posting from jail, where he's alleging he was a confidential informant, he had a towel over his door. You can see it hanging there. That's allegedly over his door. There's other photos that he took with a cell phone that you're not supposed to have while he was in prison that show the door covered. Right there. You see that towel covering the door? That's a window so they can see and make sure that you're not doing anything you're not supposed to. And he's alleging that he got away with a bunch of stuff because he was a confidential informant basically informing on what was going on in jail. And so now he's gone back and it's trying to allegedly what it sounds like, he's trying to do the exact same things and have all of the freaking things that he had while he was in jail, and it's not working for him. I don't know, covering it with feces, that's a bit much. Yeah, discourage someone to open it. I hope they made him clean it up, and I hope he did. Yeah, right? He was eating better than I do in there, no doubt. Hold on just a minute. CPS didn't do anything because she had someone pretending to be the young lady via video chat. I didn't know that. Thank you for that information. Yeah, people do use Suboxone to get off of substances. I don't. I take it, and it doesn't get me high. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's in there because if you're detoxing and they don't give you shit in there, then yeah, you get sick as hell. I was sick as hell. I mean, he's in there with the pizza and all of the food items, all of the things. He also had the Roku TV with the cell phone plugged in, the PlayStation game thing. He's playing Grand Theft Auto, headphones, all of the phone. He's got a projector.
Stay on task, Mirage. Fine. You gotta learn how to relax, my man.
So I guess he went back to prison and thought he was going to have it the same as he did before, and maybe he's finding out that he's not. Jail, I mean. I keep saying prison, I mean jail. Yeah, his girlfriend isn't there for him this time. Very true. I feel he's desperate. Next time we will hear he S-worded himself, those prison guards and law enforcement cannot get caught, and they will make sure he won't ruin it for them, in my opinion. It's either going to be that. Yeah, he had all of the things. It was atrocious. If you don't need it, it gets you very high. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I've been taking it every day for years, so I don't. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Apparently, if you take it and mix it with another drug, it makes you high, but I don't. Okay. Yeah, he's in a different county. He is. But I mean, it appears that he even though he's in a different county jail, he's trying to have it like that again, by hiding his door and not letting people see in, and it's not working out. And he opposed being moved more than likely because his boys can't drop stuff in the prison yard, or he doesn't have the connection somewhere else as he does in that facility. But even putting feces on the door like that, wow.
Drummond poses a significant behavioral and security risk. Judge Hayes stated he will be moved to a prison within the Department of Corrections until his trial on May 7th of 2026, but the exact prison is still unknown. Drummond was in court for unrelated charges to the homicide of 4 family members in Tiptonville. He was sentenced to 10 years in 2014, but racked up multiple additional charges while in lockup for drugs, weapons, and even attempted murder. You may remember this video showing Drummond involved in a full-on brawl inside the common area of the Northwest Correctional Complex in the months leading up to his release. Prosecutors say he tried to kill a fellow inmate by repeatedly attacking the man with what appears to be a weapon. The state filed a motion to transfer Drummond, and his defense attorney, Drew Farmer, says they now have to decide if they are going to appeal the judge's decision.
So he claimed in that prison brawl that you just saw that that man was trying to kill him, and the prison guards was going to let him, and so he had to fight for his life. Not that he's a good person by any means, but I think there's a good chance he didn't do it. I'm on the fence about it. I am. I don't know. It could be. The police are saying that they have evidence that he definitely did do it, But at the same time, all of that other shit that we just saw on the Facebook right here was also going on under their watch in these facilities. So something is going on. Somebody's very corrupt. Yes, his girlfriend, CO, was working there. The girl that he got out and was with right here, she was a CO there. So it was, I mean, that could be part of it, but I don't think that was all of it, especially consider they were delivering substances to the prison yard. But I mean, there's no way that he had it going on with a projector and all of that, that other COs wouldn't see that as well. Even if she was the one, Ciroc right there. I mean, even if she was the one providing all this, other COs that would walk around, there's usually at least 2 or 3 in the area watching them. So, you know, there's no way that more people didn't know. So there is some corruption going on there. Is it him trying to have it back like this and he can't? Or is it the corruption? I was prescribed and never got high after I've been off it. I took one. Oh, really? Wow, Kelly. Thank you for that information. So I guess that's why they're doing it. They need to send him far, far away where he doesn't know anyone. Florida, move to Adelson to South Dakota. Yeah, he knew somebody in Florida because that's where he ran after the robbery that got him in prison when he was 16. He ran to Daytona Beach. You can't do that on television. They had a firing squad skit. Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, he's probably going to be moved around quite a few times. I'm kind of on the fence as well. I'm not for Drummond stuff. I dated a vice lord. Did you? How interesting. He knew not to bring it to my house. That's good. Anders with the bidet installed inside of his jail cell. He's trying to have that bidet reinstalled, evidently, Anders, and doesn't appear to be working out too good for him.
One who's a pretrial inmate who's presumed innocent and has not been found guilty by a jury. Nobody from the Department of Corrections came to court today. Nobody from the Department of Corrections has been able to tell us where they're taking our client, and nobody has been able to tell us how far away that the facility might be.
And Farmer says that creates a lot of challenges for Drummond's defense team as they prepare for 2 upcoming trials next year. Those trials include the quadruple homicide and bringing in contraband. Drummond will be back in court next month with the co-defendant for the fight in the correctional facility. Reporting in Lake County, Michaela Redmond, Action News 5.
Now, the other 4 people accused of helping Austin Drummond after the family was killed will be back in court next week. Giavante Thomas, Dara Sanders, Eric Wise Jr., and Michelle Ovalis, all charged.
So, yeah, these were the people that helped him once he escaped and was on the run for a week, I believe. It is a mess. There's so much corruption. Like, I wish they could move it out of the state of Tennessee altogether. I mean, like, the person I just said, move it to like South Dakota or something. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot that she was pregnant. I don't know. Yeah, because he was asking his judge to make it to where he could talk to her because she was pregnant with his son. Now, this girl is the sister of the grandmother, and the people who he killed were the grandmother, the mother, the father, the uncle, and then he dropped the baby in the yard. This is the sister of the grandmother that he was talking to here. Just Oh, Lord, you couldn't see it. Sorry. This is the sister of the grandmother that he was talking to there. So the person he killed again was the grandmother, the mother, the father, and the uncle. Right. I can't. Courtney Rose, Adriana Williams, Matthew Wilson, and Braden Wilson, I do believe. And then Caitlin Speed was the sister of the grandmother. And you can see and the boy here, so it was again the grandmother, the grandmother, the mother, the father, and the uncle. Matthew and Braden were the males that he shot, and then Courtney and Adriana were the women. And he dropped the baby off in the front yard. This right here, this guy that he's talking to, when he got out of jail or prison, is Fat Fox the God, who had a YouTube video. And it was funny because he got on YouTube Live saying, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't, the police keep messing with me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Da, 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 da. And here he is, no, he's not. His name is Braden Williams, I do believe, or no, Brandon something. He's not one of these four, but he was arrested and is charged with delivering substances to the jail facility.
Charged with accessory after the fact. They're all being held on at least a $100,000 bond that was set last month. Their next court hearing is scheduled for November 3rd.
Action News 5 has been on top of this case from the very beginning. We will keep pushing for answers as things develop. For all of our previous coverage, just head to our website, actionnews5.com.
Okay, that was Hockey Anders that they were watching. The baby's grandmother, mother, father, and uncle. Yep. That lady ain't happy. No, she wasn't. And I think they were, let me see. Dara Sanders with her arms crossed right here. I know she was also a correctional officer. Allegedly. I do believe. He does seem like a user and a schmoozer, but not necessarily a homicider, in my opinion. Not a good person, but still. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I know we also have an update on Jack and Lilly Sullivan. I need to get that real quick. Let me grab that real quick. I apologize. I should have sent it to myself earlier. Okay. And we were going to talk about David too. I've got that pulled up. So we talked briefly. Actually, I put a video out. Let's watch that video real quick. So we're up to date on what we need to talk about. Malaya breathe in their scent when we've got some information on the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case, and I wanted to share that with you. We're going to start with this article that references some posts made in a Facebook group that I also have. This article reads, Mother issues plea as search continues for young siblings who vanished from their home 5 months ago. Lilly and Jack Sullivan, who are aged 6 and 4, haven't been seen since they disappeared from their Nova Scotia home on the morning of May 2nd. So I'm going to let this video play to get us where we need to be in order to understand what the update is, because you need this information first. The search is continuing for young siblings who disappeared from their home in Nova Scotia, Canada, nearly 6 months ago. Lilly and Jack Sullivan, aged 6 and 4, were last seen on May 2nd. Earlier this month, the kids' mom, Malaya Brooks Murray, shared a new post on a Facebook page dedicated to the search for the siblings and said she, quote, desperately, unquote, wants them home. Hold on. Thank you to the person who just sent me this article. We need to wait before we move on. I didn't see this. I'll have to start that video over, I guess, because we need to talk about this real quick. You still think it's Daniel? I can't believe it's almost been 6 months either. Oh, no. I want them found. So this real quick is what's inside Austin Drummond's 400-plus page Tennessee Department of Corrections file. It had something on there. Yeah. Let's see this video real quick, if it'll load. I got too much pulled up. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully it'll load now. It says Memphis, Tennessee, investigators have uncovered new information about the man accused of killing 4 Dyer County family members. Austin Drummond was housed at the Obion County Jail, but this week a judge agreed to move him due to repeated disruptions and drug possession. Quote, I've spoken with Mr. Drummond about covering the window of his cell many times with paper. This time it was feces, unquote. Captain Mitchell Maynard of the Obion County Sheriff's Department testified. Quote, you cannot observe inside the cell with that window covered. Jailers, okay, stop it. Please stop. Jailers, oh my Lord. Oh, this is so frustrating. Stop it. Jailers claim his behavior posed a security risk in the county jail, a claim we've repeatedly heard over the past decade. In 2014, Drummond was tried as an adult and convicted of a gas station armed robbery caught on video. 6 months. Oh my God. Hold on. Please stop your nonsense. Okay. We might have to come back. Jesus. Okay. Let's let this finish doing what it's doing, evidently, because it's going to be an entire ass today. Cuff, you, good to see you. I really don't want to split it, but we're going to have to, it appears. Yep. So we'll talk about Jack and Lilly real quick, and then we'll come back to Austin when that page decides it wants to. It's going to stop being an entire ass. Okay. Police are still searching for 2 young siblings in Canada after they vanished from their home nearly 6 months ago. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, previously said that Lilly
Lord have
Sullivan,
mercy, that was
6,
so
and Jack
frustrating. Hey, man,
Sullivan, 4, had last been seen on the morning of May 2nd on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County in Nova Scotia. Authorities believe the 2 wandered from their home. Months later, authorities are offering a reward of up to 150,000 Canadian dollars, around 107,000 US dollars, for any information about the siblings' disappearance, per a Nova Scotia government post. Malaya Brooks Murray, the children's mother, has been sharing multiple messages on a Find Lilly and Jack Sullivan Facebook page amid the ongoing search. And then it references what she wrote on October 3rd. I'm going to grab the actual post. So this post was a pretty big one. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. It starts, as a mother, I love my children. Tammy, you're not late. You got here right when you were meant to be here, good love. And Mustang, it's good to see you, sweetheart. Children more than life itself, and feel so heartbroken not being able to hold my 2 children, Lily and Jack. Kiss them, breathe in their scent, or tuck them into bed, dress them, wake up to their sweet smiling faces. The longing I have for them to come home back to me is a greater feeling than I could never imagine feeling or putting into words how I'm feeling. There is not one single day, minute, or second that goes by that I am not thinking about my children. I walk into a store and all I see is the things that they love, that I want to get for them when they come home. The candy they like, the clothes they wear, the toys they love, all I see is them. I just so desperately want them home safe and sound, back into my arms where I will never let them go. I am truly traumatized not being able to hear the sweet sound of their voices, their laugh when they would sing a Gabby's Doll house song. That now only makes me cry when I hear it because all I hear is Lily and Jack singing along. Hey, Drippy. Not being able to breathe in their scent when I embrace them tightly. I don't want these moments to be memories. I want my babies home, my Lily Mae and Jackie. The pure pain I suffer of just not knowing where they are has impacted my life and my family in the most devastating way. Life feels extremely hard to keep going. With no answers, it is just pure lostness. Like I can no longer feel at home anymore. No matter how lost I feel, I have not given up hope that my children will be returned home to me safe and sound. I have all the faith and hope I will see them again. Please, anyone with information, no matter how small, please come forward. Please do not be afraid to use your voice to help bring home Lily and Jack. Even the smallest details are crucial. I am so incredibly grateful and thankful for all of the ongoing efforts of the RCMP Major Crime Search and Rescue and Please Bring Me Home, or PBMH. The RCMP Major Crime Unit and Please Bring Me Home will continue to investigate and they need your help. You can share tips anonymously at pleasebringmehome.com or contact the RCMP directly. I will never stop searching for my children until they are found and brought home safe and sound. Someone somewhere knows something, so please bring my babies home. To the incredible volunteers, searchers, investigators, and compassionate strangers who have stood beside us, thank you. Your tireless dedication, your prayers, your time spent combing through woods and yards, sharing photos and refusing to give up. You and the hope my children will be home and my youngest daughter are the reason I hold strength and keep going. You've shown me that love, kindness, and compassion still shine even in the darkest times. Everything you've done has not gone unnoticed. Thank you with the deepest gratitude. From Malaya Brooks Murray, official statement of Malaya Brooks Murray, published by Please Bring Me Home. And then on the Facebook page, it says any negative comments will be instantly removed from this post and may result in the comments to this post being turned off. Please show Malaya kindness and her strength to come forward and release this statement for her children and refrain from any negative comments. I want this page to be positive and light, as this page is for Lily and Jack, and speculation and theories are not welcome. And then Malaya shared these photos of her. I thought those were cute photos. Drippy says she needs to start searching first, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Now she's getting into it with Please Bring Me Home. Really? I didn't know that. You don't believe she wrote this. See, yeah, I was excited for a minute. I was like, okay, so we're hearing from her and we're finally seeing something. Well, with Lily on the left and then her with Jack on the right. I didn't edit this video. We go back to the article. This is the other part that we need to talk about. Hold on. I have that as well. These downloaded a bit out of order. This is the post that was most recently made, and it says, to know this sweet boy will turn 5 years old next week on the 29th is devastating. Jack Sullivan still remains missing along his big sister, Lily Mae Sullivan, and they both need to be found. 178 days missing, they are beyond missed. A birthday should be filled with balloons, cake, and presents, music, celebration, and fun, but this year it will be filled with such heartache. Please note a candlelight visual will take place for Jack's 5th birthday on Wednesday, the 29th of October, 2025 at Stellarton RCMP Detachment. The vigil will be a quiet, respectful moment for the community to come together for Lily and Jack. And there appears to be some more photos of Jack. I don't think we had that one that's on the left. Information about the vigil. Candlelight vigil for Jack's 5th birthday. Quote, as Jack's 5th birthday approaches, our hearts are heavy, knowing that he and his sister are still missing. Instead of the joyful celebration that should have been, we will gather together to honor Jack, to share our love, our hope, and our prayers for both him and Lily. So Tammy said, can her nation do anything to help? That's a good question. I don't know. So I know the RCMP has been doing extensive searches. Daniel's come out and talked. She's come out and talked. I don't think there's a lot of YouTube channels covering this, and we did get the court documents finally, which was, really awesome to have. I don't know that she necessarily knows where they are or what happened. But I think that it would be nice to see her out in the community doing more. And when I started reading a little bit about this update I'm going to give you about this candlelight vigil, I was excited for a minute. Okay, I was like, okay, so she's going to come out, she's going to be at this candlelight vigil, and we're at least going to see her in the community. Maybe people can approach her, ask her a couple of questions, all of the things. But it didn't turn out that way, and that's what we're going to talk about because we have the update from the vigil. So I'll play this so you know a little bit more about the vigil. But when Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, where Stellarton RCMP detachment. This will be a quiet, respectful vigil. There will be no party or celebration, just a moment for the community to come together, light candles, and keep Jack and Lily close in our hearts. Please bring a candle, a light, or simply your presence. Every bit of love and support matters. Do credit for that one to Kent Corbett and Marie Gabb, and it's focused on bringing Lily and Jack home. And then we have this for Jack's 5th birthday candlelight vigil, when Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, from 7 to 7:30 p.m. Where Stellarton RCMP detachment. For 30 minutes, they were having a candlelight vigil. Okay. Tammy said, well, I do believe the family on the property can be totally innocent. I believe in my heart that someone there knows what happened. I do too. To be honest, I do too. It's really weird to me that the brother was mentioned in the very beginning. There's a lot of times where things were mentioned in the very beginning, and then they all of a sudden are never mentioned again. That brother that was living with the mother in the RV and then is never mentioned again is very curious to me. To help find them, maybe they do not like outsider. Yeah. Last week or the week before, Daniel was pulled back in for like 2 hours of questioning, according to him on the Drunk Turkey channel. I didn't know that. Interesting. So this article came out the day before yesterday, titled, "We Deserve Answers, Missing Nova Scotia Children Honored at a Candlelight Vigil." We can see what this says. I don't know what it will say.
Incinerator garbage disposals
Hold
are
on.
the only
We gotta
garbage
wait for
disposals
the
with
commercial because it's on my computer and not like on YouTube. Since doing the bathtub homicide trial, I'll never look at a garbage disposal the same.
Without the celebration, his loved ones say they wish they were having cake instead of a vigil.
It's Jack's 5th birthday. It's something that he should be here to celebrate in person. We shouldn't be where we are. So it's very important that we had the time to do this.
This is my birthday promise to Jack. Every step is a prayer whispered to the wind, a hope that a search may help our hearts to mend. We hold steadfast the pictures of Lily and Jack, seeking answers to bringing them back.
About 40 people gathered outside the Stellarton RCMP detachment to hear poems, speeches, and shed tears for the 2 young children, all while holding on to hope.
So these are members of her family, but I haven't seen her. Hannah said a breaking story in the United Kingdom, and Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, is under pressure to face questions in the USA over the Epstein scandal. That's very interesting. Yeah, he should be in prison, as should all of those people who partook in that depravity. If I don't know if I could guess, I would say they towed Malea's car to check it for any kind of evidence and maybe didn't find any. I know, I feel so bad for her.
Both of them deserve better. We deserve answers. They need to be brought back home safe. It's been 6 months, too long.
This case has truly affected many, as is demonstrated here this evening. I can assure you that we have not wavered in our commitment to determine what has happened to Lily and Jack. Our major crime investigators are working every day to determine the circumstances of their disappearance.
It marked the first time since May loved ones from all sides of the family came together. Tensions have been high since the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, left her boyfriend, Daniel Martel, at the search scene the day after Jack and Lily disappeared.
I didn't miss the first vigil, and I would definitely not miss this one. Definitely not on Jack's birthday. It's an important date for everybody over the last 6 months, and I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Brooks.
Okay, so Daniel was there. We just saw him talking. The police came out and spoke. And there's Daniel, actually looking kind of healthy to me, which is good to see. I hope he is.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Brooks Murray did not attend the vigil.
Excuse me. Let me back that up. Say that one more time.
For the world.
Brooks Murray did not attend the vigil.
Why? Why didn't she come and attend this vigil that she talked about on Facebook, that she shared her son's birthday? Why were you not there? I mean, I get, being in shock and trauma in the beginning, but why were you not there? You didn't even make an appearance for 30 minutes. I know, okay, you're scared. Let's run the scenarios. I'm scared of the public asking me questions and accusing me of things. First of all, that's something you're going to have to deal with because you left the property immediately after the kids were reported missing. But second of all, there's a lot of people there that aren't going to let it get too bad. They might let a few questions be asked, but it's not going to get to where you're in a knockdown, drag out fight. Your family is there, and that's not what it's about. And that's all that would have to be said. She's here. That's what is important. That's what matters. This is not about placing blame. This is about Jack's birthday and remembering him and praying for him to come home. That's it. That's all you had to say. That's all. What's another excuse? Oh, Daniel's going to be there and I don't want to see him. Well, he was part of their lives. You wanted to see him for 3 years, enough to the extent that you lived with him and had another child with him, which I'm assuming you would have to see him at some point since you two have a child together. So that shit needs to stop too. What's more important? Jack's birthday, remembering him, praying for him, or your feelings about your ex? There's no excuse for this. She's not made a public appearance since the kids went missing at all. I didn't see the first part of this comment, Kelly, if they searched the house or not. I know they've searched the house. She's been in public, but she's not given any interviews. And this is the closest that has come to a plea in 5 months? Exactly. 6 months, from my understanding. When the parents don't attend vigils, that's really shady. You need to, I don't know, she's afraid, but she gonna have to get over that if you want your children found. There's no excuse for me for not being there. I get that it may be a traumatic moment, a traumatic experience, we're 6 months in at this point. It's 30 minutes, 7 to 7:30, maybe let's say 8 if they went over with the pleas, the poems, all of the things that the speeches. Okay, an hour. She's not traumatized enough to stop her from going to beaches and bars, and I've heard that too.
Family says she quietly marked Jack's birthday with her mother, and gifts from the vigil would be delivered to her. The children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, says she appreciates the outpouring of support.
People have beautiful hearts. And I know if we give them a chance, everybody can help. Everybody can help, and everybody wants to help. So I think this is beautiful.
Angela McIver, CBC News, Stellarton.
I cannot get over the fact that she wasn't there. The article reads, 5 balloons fluttered in light wind under cotton candy skies outside of a Nova Scotia RCMP detachment on Wednesday evening as community members and friends and family of missing children Jack and Lilly Sullivan gathered for a candlelight vigil. Children sat at a picnic table in Stellarton and decorated a card for Jack on his 5th birthday as a crowd of roughly 40 people listened to a prayer, poem, and song for the siblings who disappeared nearly 6 months ago. Jack 5 and Lily 6 were reported missing on the morning of May 2nd when police received a 911 call from their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, saying they had wandered away from their home in Lansdowne, a sparsely populated community about 140 kilometers northeast of Halifax. Despite extensive searches and a massive investigation led by RCMP Major Crimes, there are still no answers about what happened to the children. Quote, until we have answers, we have hope, unquote, said the children's aunt, Haley Ferdinand, describing the phrase she had printed on the back of a t-shirt, her niece and nephew's smiling faces embolized on the front. Quote, it's something that I don't wish on anybody. It's something that I wish we as a family weren't going through. It's 2 innocent kids that up and disappeared. Haley is on the left and Cheryl is on the right. They're family members of Malaya Brooks Murray, and they're saying they still hold on to hope, is what it says under the photo. Daniel said at one point there was no protection order, but I believe Malaya mentioned the police asked Daniel to stay away from her. Oh, that's so upsetting. The detective wasn't sure they searched the house or not. He should be able to confidently say that yes, it's been searched. He wasn't sure. We heard on the dispatch audio that the house was searched. But that is weird, Kelly. I hadn't heard that. I heard a rumor which would mean she has to avoid him and him her. Heard she was going to bars from a source I trust. Beach we know because her friend posted pictures of them smiling at the beach. Yep. Little Jack's dad wasn't there either. I've heard that. But to be fair, when she left 3 years before, Belinda's son, is who we're referencing here, he said he didn't want anything to do with them at all. Like, it was weird. I don't, so he hasn't had anything to do with them. It's still upsetting though, nonetheless. You would hope he would be there. Ferdinand Brooks Murray's sister said Jack is a rambunctious boy who loves to be outdoors, play with bugs. She said Lily is a, quote, little princess, unquote. She's so beautiful, said Ferdinand through tears. Both of them deserve better. We deserve answers. The vigil marked the first time that loved ones from all sides of Lily and Jack's family have come together since May. Tensions have been high since Brooks Murray left her then boyfriend, Daniel Martell, and the search scene following a disagreement between their two families the day after the children went missing. Martell is Lily and Jack's stepfather. Brooks Murray and Martell are no longer in a relationship. Members of Brooks Murray's family, the children's paternal grandmother, and Martell all gathered for the somber occasion as night fell over rural Nova Scotia, where a makeshift memorial has been growing. At the base of a post, a white lighthouse embellished with Jack and Lily's names sat encompassed by brightly colored stuffed animals, dinky cars, and flickering candles. I love that picture of them. Brooks Murray did not attend the vigil. A family member said she was marking Jack's birthday with her mother, and the card signed by people at the vigil would be delivered to her. Brooks Murray has declined repeated interview requests, but broke her silence a few weeks ago, releasing a statement through the volunteer nonprofit Please Bring Me Home. She wrote that there isn't a second that goes by that she isn't thinking of her children, and it feels extremely hard to keep going. With no answers, it's just pure lostness. I can no longer feel at home anymore, she wrote. No matter how lost I feel, I have not given up hope. My children will be returned home to me safe and sound. I have all the faith and hope I will see them again. Belinda Gray, the children's paternal grandmother, wrote a poem and read it out loud at the vigil, describing it as her birthday promise to Jack. Quote, "We hold steadfast the pictures of Lily and Jack seeking answers to bringing them back," said Gray, becoming emotional. Quote, "For a grandparent's promise is etched in the soul, and I'll search for our grandchildren no matter the toll." The event also included words from Pictou County Warden Robert Parker and RCMP Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon. McKinnon, who also spoke at the first vigil held 1 month after the children went missing, remarked on the far-reaching efforts of the case. Quote, "I know you care deeply about these children, and so do we," said McKinnon, distinct commander of the Pictou County District RCMP, one of several Mounties who were on hand for the event. Quote, "I can assure you that we have not wavered in our commitment and to determine what has happened to Lily and Jack," unquote. Some community members wept as an original song titled "We Are They," written by Russell McDonald, played through a speaker. Following the event, Martell said he felt it was important for him to be there, despite the tensions and the accusations being hurled his way that he was somehow involved in the children's disappearance. See, that's important to me, and that speaks more to Daniel, I think, than anything else. The fact that he was there despite everything coming out about the car, and the RCMP later saying that they have no evidence that happened. Even through all of the shit that's going on and people saying that he did something, he was there. I love how it said he's their stepfather. No, he isn't. If they broke up, he isn't. True. They have the younger child together, but I mean, but he was at least there. You know what I mean? Honestly, feel they are kidnapped. Do I have proof? No, just my gut says so. I think so. Is it possible the kid's dad isn't their dad? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know though. Quote, "I didn't miss the first vigil, and I definitely wouldn't miss this one. Definitely not on Jack's birthday, an important date for everybody over the last 6 months, and I wouldn't miss it for the world," he said. "I'd like everybody to know that I'm working with major crimes almost every day, just trying to figure stuff out. The mysterious nature of the case, fueled by lack of answers, has garnered international attention and has spurred countless theories online." Kent Cobert, who helped organize the event, said the RCMP had requested the memorial outside of the detachment be dismantled for the winter to get it out of the elements. Corbett asked Amtech Limited in Alma, Nova Scotia, an electric contractor. He has agreed to display the memorial until spring or until there is a conclusion in the case. And that was the video we just watched. I can't believe she didn't show up. Like, that makes me very, very upset. That pisses me off a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. All right. Hold on. Had to get a sip of my coffee. All right, we're gonna jump back to Austin Drummond for a minute now that this article will load, because I'm real interested in knowing what this article has to say. So let's pull that up real quick. Kim said, "You don't have to be with someone to be a parent to the child. If he's still saying he's a stepdad, it shows me he loves them and would still be in their lives if or when found." Right, because he's the father of their little sister, and I mean, again, I can't I can't ignore the fact that he's the one there. You know what I mean? And she's not. So there was a video here. It might show up later in the article. I'm going to try it again because it's starting to jump already. Memphis, Tennessee, WREG investigators have uncovered new information about the man accused of killing 4 Dyer County family members, Austin Drummond, who was housed at the Obion County Jail. But this week, a judge agreed to move him due to repeated disruptions and drug possession. Quote, "I've spoken with Mr. Drummond about covering the window of the cell many times with paper. This time it was feces. You cannot observe the inside of the cell with that window covered," said Captain Mitchell Maynard of the Obion County Sheriff's Department. Don't do it. Why? Why? I mean, let's go all the way down then. Can we come back up if we do? Hold on, y'all. It's doing it by itself. I didn't do that. I might have to put it out in a video or something. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to put that out in a video because it's wanting to be stupid. That's just ridiculous. Ever Love Me said, I haven't followed Austin case, but did we ever prove he was a snitch? I mean, informant. I don't know. He's being moved from the county jail now, so we talked about it briefly because I don't know if he's up to the same shit or if the COs are messing with him. Sir, stop. Basil, good gracious. Okay, so now we're going to talk about David since that article wouldn't load. I will try to get it out for you guys or talk about it in a video. We're at 206. Okay, so SF Investigates has some updates on David. He is so spoiled. He really is. I don't care if my partner and I are together or not. His children are my children, and I will always be their stepmom and will always be in their lives, right? It stands out to me that he actually was there. And she was not. Yeah, there was a glitch in the link or something. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if it's my computer. It does that sometimes. I don't know. Okay, so this says David Tesla case sees chilling twist. Private investigator reveals who was driving the car after teen found dead and what was found from the singer's LA home. So, synopsis. A private investigator claims to know who drove the abandoned Tesla where 14-year-old Celeste Rivas' body was found. Steve Fisher reviewed surveillance footage and found disturbing items at David's rental home, including farm-like tools and prescription medication. Rivas, missing for over a year, was found in the car registered to David. Almost a month after the body of 14-year-old girl Celeste Rivas was found in the trunk of David abandoned Tesla, a private investigator has claimed he knows who last drove the grimy Tesla that housed the decomposing remains of the teen. The teen's body was found stashed in the trunk of a Tesla on September 8th after it was towed for being abandoned on a Los Angeles street for months. Investigator C. Fisher has claimed he knows who moved the car before David and his entourage left the city on July 29th after he reviewed a neighborhood surveillance footage. Quote, I know who was driving, unquote, he told Court TV. However, when pressed to reveal the driver's identity, Fisher said that he didn't want to overshare and step on the Los Angeles Police Department's toes. Fisher also said he found some disturbing items when he walked through the Hollywood Hills property after investigators had searched it. Quote, we found some things that have been delivered to the house that just don't belong there. Don't belong in any type of environment like that, he said. They are things that you could use to get rid of a person if you wanted to. Okay, but should we be saying that? Like, what if it wasn't used for that reason? Should we be putting that in the ether? I don't know. See, even this article is being stupid. The severely decomposed remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez were discovered on September 8th inside the impounded car registered to 20-year-old David, real name David Anthony Burke. Rivas had been missing for more than a year after running away from her home in Lake Elsinore, California in April of 2024. She would have turned 15 the day before her body was found, but police believe she'd been dead for some time. David's farm tools and pill bottles, the private investigator also revealed new details about the, quote, sadistic items allegedly found inside the singer's high-profile Los Angeles rental home. 9 days after the grisly discovery, homicide detectives raided... y'all, I don't know why that advertisement's there. I'm trying to read quickly. The $4.1 million Hollywood Hills mansion where Burke had been living, officials confirmed the search was linked to Rivas's death and that several items of evidence were seized. Thank you for that. That was enough of that. I don't know, but that's a weird thing to put there, right? The house's owner told the Daily Mail he hired private investigator Steve Fisher after the raid to determine whether Rivas ever stayed at the property. Speaking to the Daily Mail on Wednesday, Fisher elaborated, quote, there were multiple of these items that could be used together, heavy-duty tools like machinery you'd never need in a Hollywood Hills home. You'd be more likely to find them on a farm, unquote. One of the items appeared to have recently been delivered to the property, he said, because it was still in its shipping packaging. Quote, I don't know what impact these items could have on the overall narrative, if any, unquote, he continued, adding that the presence of the mysterious items appeared strange and LAPD has been notified. In an interview with Court TV and Law and Crime, the private investigator described the items recovered from the property as sadistic, suggesting they could potentially be used to get rid of a person. Bottles of prescription pain medication were also recovered inside, as were various items of drug paraphernalia. The condition of the home and items found inside were otherwise normal, according to the PI. Rivas' cause of death is still unknown, and autopsy and toxicology results are pending. The LAPD is treating the case as a death investigation, not a homicide, and has not identified any suspects so far. We're going to jump over to his X account and check that out. I don't know. It's a good question. I think it's AI, though. Surely the police have taken those items into evidence. You would think, Kate, wouldn't you? That's what I was like. Why are we not? Why were they left there? Because I'm assuming he went in there and searched after the police have, obviously. So why were they left there? Super weird. Also, something they cannot confirm is the actual person, I think. Interesting. Right. Yeah, you're describing sadistic tools that we use in the garden or for the animals. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff looks scary though, because I had to get stuff for the goats' hooves, like to trim their hooves, and I was like, "Dang, this shit looks kind of scary." Investigator Fisher said his team found signs that several people had been living at the home with Burke. They discovered personal belongings of other men and women in guest rooms, bedside tables, and bathroom cabinets. None of the women's items appeared to belong to Rivas, he added. Fisher said he has no evidence proving Rivas was either inside the house. However, he claimed a neighbor told him they once saw the girl sitting on the front curb waiting for someone to let her in. Police have not confirmed any connection between Rivas and Burke, but the investigation is ongoing. Sources close to Rivas told the Daily Mail that the two were allegedly in an illicit relationship that began on social media when Rivas was about 11 or 12 years old. Her friends said they last heard from her in late June or early July, while Fisher claimed he has evidence suggesting she was still alive on January 5th of 2025. All right, now we're going to go over here because I saw something that was interesting. So we need to start here. It says Celeste Rivas Hernandez was reported missing on April 5th of 2024 at the home where David was staying. I found a certificate in the name of, quote, Esmeralda, unquote, from Build-A-Bear dated April 21st, 2024, just 16 days after Celeste was reported missing. Also on April 21st, 2024, David posted a TikTok video on a roller coaster that appears to have been filmed at Six Flags. There is a Build-A-Bear located at Six Flags. Common sense tells us Celeste was there and she likely invited Esmeralda. Six Flags requires a chaperone 21 or older for any guests under 15 years old. So the questions are, was anyone else there? How open was this relationship with David to the family? Why wasn't law enforcement notified that Celeste was no longer missing? Why wasn't she in school? And if she was refusing to comply, why weren't school administrators or school police professionals trained to handle these situations notified? All great questions. Celeste was only 13 at the time. She had been a teenager for just 6 months. Let that sink in. She had just become a teenager and was allowed to stay out of school and be in a relationship with an adult man. An adult male groomed her. David groomed her and committed crimes against her. And I sincerely hope the LAPD and the DA don't let this slide, as has happened for too many in many of my other cases. And there's the workshop, Build-A-Bear workshop thing. I would have thought they would have had more answers by now. They're not releasing shit. How would they know before they go in what items are on the warrant? They're looking for specific items, and they have to name that in the warrant. But if they find something else, they can, like, get a warrant for it, I think, immediately. Like, have somebody go get the warrant for it and take it into evidence. I know they have to be specific to an extent. Oh, you're good, Lori. I want to know why they don't have a cause of death. I do, too. It's weird. How did they know if they were her items? Nobody knows what David bought her if she's been missing a year. It is weird. Yeah, she had a fake ID. The police told the dude that they got pictures of the stuff. Did they? You had a Build-A-Bear? Who is Esmeralda? I'm assuming that that's a friend of hers. There's David on the roller coaster. And then there's the proof that Build-A-Bear is at Six Flags. Valencia. So we needed to start there, and then I saw this. I've spent the day in the mountains above Palm Desert searching for Casey Finnegan. No, that was a different case. Okay. Where is it? This is it. Reddit has somehow convinced itself that Esmeralda has only been to one theme park in her entire life. So the photo at Knott's must have been taken on April 21st, completely ignoring the main point that the Build-A-Bear certificate was found at David's house. I still don't understand who Esmeralda is. Why would Celeste's cousin's belongings be at David's? So evidently, allegedly, it's Celeste's cousin, Esmeralda. My baby cousin got to build a bear. She really enjoyed it and talked about it forever. All. Yeah, they're really nice. I think I like the Build-A-Bear stuff. I've never done one, but they're really cool. Okay, here's another update. Kylie, all right. Okay. There is a false quote circulating claiming that I referred to items found in the house as heavy tools or farm machinery or something to that effect. I never said that. What I said was there were items in the house that would serve no purpose at a home in the Hollywood Hills. They are items you would typically find on a farm or a farm type environment. Just wanted to let y'all know that that update was out there. Okay. Whew. Okay, so this one is from a couple of days before that. It says, when a missing persons report is filed, it's a serious matter. The person is entered to NCIC, which is maintained by the FBI. In California, they are also added to the California Department of Justice Missing Persons database, and minors are entered into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children system. Behind the scenes, detectives, case advocates, investigators, and others are actively working to locate the missing individual. If a missing person is found by their family, the family has a duty to notify law enforcement. At that point, law enforcement conducts a, quote, locate, meaning an officer meets with the missing person in person to confirm their identity, understand the circumstances of their disappearance, and verify that they are not a danger to themselves or others. The first time Celeste was reported missing was February 14th of 2024, the exact same day John Marshall took possession of the rental house. The last time she was reported missing was April 5th of 2024, but was she truly missing? It's interesting, before I continue reading, that she went missing on the exact day that David rented the house in the Hollywood Hills. There was a tractor in the living room? You don't say. That's sweet. They're expensive. We haven't had, anything we do, like even talking about going out last night, it cost a lot of money because there's 4 kids. So we haven't done that. But hopefully one day I can take them to do it. They love stuffed animals. They got the little stuffies and the squishmallows and all the things. Picturing a pitchfork or barbed wire. I'm thinking maybe, let's see what Google pulls up. Well, we'll look at this and see after we get done reading this real quick. Okay. On May 30th of 2024, Celeste attended her cousin Esmeralda's high school graduation. See the attached photo. There she is. There's Esmeralda. In September, she was seen on a video fighting with neighbors at the Lake Elsinore home. So why didn't any family member notify law enforcement that she was safe? Possibly because they were worried it would trigger a CPS investigation? Maybe because they were lost my train of thought. Maybe because they were being paid by David? All questions I have. 3 girls, 3 Build-A-Bears with clothes and hearts, at least $100. Yep. Justice for Celeste. I'm hoping and praying. From the start, someone close to the situation in Lake Elsinore told me that after the last report, certain family members instructed concerned neighbors not to search for Celeste because she was, quote, staying with a family member, unquote, near LA. Is that why we haven't heard a word publicly from her family? Why would you tell people not to look for her? She's with a family member, but not report it to the cops. The only thing that makes sense is that you didn't want a CPS investigation. He continues, Esmeralda, I have a question for you. Did you attend an event with David and Celeste on April 21st of 2024? I'm also curious why Celeste was attending your graduation, yet was still considered a runaway and not enrolled in school. As the school president, it seems you knew better than that. I didn't know she was school president. She was popular and everything. Yes. When he said farm tools, that's exactly where my head went. I think they were getting paid. I definitely do. So I asked, tools typically found on a farm, hand tools, because that's, what you're gonna, that's what I would think of. That's a tensioner, good gracious, for fencing. Why is it so expensive? It says, farm hand tools are essential for various tasks on a farm, including digging, planting, and harvesting. Here are common tools used on farms. Shovel, used for digging, lifting, and moving bulk materials. A hoe, essential for cultivating soil and weeding. Were there some hoes in David's house? No. I gotta tell y'all, I was in the car, talking to Mr. Speculating, and I was really upset about something because I don't usually say things like this, but I was upset about somebody and some actions that they were doing. I can't remember who it was, but I was real upset, and I said, she's such a hoe. And the kids were in the back, and I didn't think, you don't realize that they're listening. And so his son said, what's a hoe? And like without a second thought, I said, it's a gardening tool. I still that's so funny to me, but anyways, going back to the actual gardening tool, maybe a hoe was in there. A rake, crucial for leveling soil and collecting debris. A trowel, ideal for detailed work in small gardens and flower beds. Pruning shears, used for trimming plants and maintaining plant health. These tools are not only practical but essential for the efficient operation of any farm. They help farmers perform tasks with precision and efficiency, contributing to the success of their farming activities. But like all of those things could be used to um clean up the yard. Yeah, that's like yard work stuff. Like a sickle or a scythe, maybe not. That might be weird, sadistic items that could have been in there. Huh. Like, or a pitchfork, maybe? Like, if you saw looking at this thing, like, and we're not talking about the heavy machinery, okay? We're not talking, there wasn't no tractor in the damn living room, okay? If we're talking about farm tools, that would be that or tools that you would see on a farm that were quote sadistic unquote as he said and in the house, like the only thing I could think of that you wouldn't say, well, maybe they were using these items for gardening or something in the yard. The things that would come to mind would be a scythe or a sickle. Those would be kind of sadistic looking tools to have in a house in the Hollywood Hills. That wouldn't make any sense. A swing blade. Sling blade. We're gonna be sling blading it in a minute. And farm tools must have looked out of place, like if they were in a tool shed, no problem, but inside the house. That's true. I was married to a farmer and we didn't have a hoe. We had tractors, combine harvester, etc. A hoe, it would have taken years to hoe a field. I've used a hoe. Chainsaw, y'all are saying. Yeah, maybe. He didn't have a garden. Let's pull up and see if there's a yard outside his house. Like, not even in the backyard? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Could be wrong. No, that's director David Lynch's home. Lord, I know it's on SF Investigates page. We'll go back over here. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, we need to read this post and we'll get actually we'll look at the house and then we'll look at the post. Okay, so there's his house. There does appear to be some trees and things in the front, but I want to see the back. It was a balcony. Stan said, I've used the sickle when I had a drainage ditch along the front of my property. Interesting. An axe. I was thinking an axe or a hatchet. It had a balcony on the side. Okay. That is the house. We'll get some better looks at it. Hold on. Here's a crew at the house removing shit. But I don't think that's it. That house there. That's the car, but it's not going to show me the house. Is that the house? Maybe? If it is, no, that's an abandoned home. It's like that though, and there does appear to be like some shrubbery in the yard. I mean, if we go here to the actual house, we can see the shrubbery. What are you thumping at? What do you hear, baby? What do you hear? What are you thumping at? He's so cute. Okay, let me close these out. I don't know, y'all. I guess I'm country. Those don't look out of place to me. I've had them in my house, and they wouldn't be out of place. We had loads of axes just in the house. Skill saw, maybe. But he could be used that to do some renovations. Like, I'm thinking farm tools that he wouldn't need to, like, be cleaning up shrubbery or anything. It's weird. All right, this is going to reference some kind of party or something from what I saw from the post. Let's read it. Quote, sorry. Because TMZ is publishing widely inaccurate information in the Celeste Rivas Hernandez and David case, here are a few facts. Harvey refers to the house as a party house. In the entire span of the lease, there was only one written complaint, a noise complaint at AM on July 20th of 2025. I have the body cam video from that incident and have attached a short clip from it. The complaint originated because 4 girls were outside waiting for their Uber and were being loud. There are no other complaints. Did David often have people over? Yes. He's an entertainer and was paying through his manager a large amount to lease a very large house. Of course, a single 20-year-old living in a beautiful home in the Hollywood Hills is going to entertain. That's not illegal. All of that makes a lot of sense to me. Continuing, spreading lies for the sake of, quote, entertainment news, unquote, will not bring us closer to the truth about Celeste's death. If this was a tragic accidental death, such as an overdose, which I have maintained from the beginning, then anyone and everyone who knew about it and participated in concealing her body needs to be held accountable. If this was a homicide, then the person or persons responsible must be held accountable, as well as anyone who helped conceal her body afterward. And most importantly, we must not overlook the crimes committed against Celeste as a minor by an adult male. Unfortunately, I have little faith in the LA County District Attorney's Office to pursue that charge. Every single person who meets the legal burden to be charged with a crime, no matter what the crime, should be charged in this case. This involves a 14-year-old child, stressing the child, a string trimmer. Good question. Good question. Okay, can you stop? Hold on. Sorry, my computer was acting crazy again. Okay. 14-year-old child in the company of adults. She was not of age to consent, and they were of age to be held accountable, and they should be. Every one of them who meets the threshold of having committed a criminal act. Attached is a short clip of body cam I'm providing as proof of that after-hours party that resulted in the only documented noise complaint. There were many documented complaints from houses nearby that are Airbnbs, but not the house David was staying in. I'm going to make this big and let it play while I shut this door. Oh, yes! It sounds like. What the hell? Okay, I can't hear that again. But yeah, they're taking pictures that appears to be outside of the home. Sounds like it's saying, "Oh yes," but he says in the document that they're waiting for an Uber and we're being loud outside the house, and that's the only documented noise complaint. And I mean, I agree with him. He's an entertainment paying a lot of money, an entertainer paying a lot of money to live there. So yeah, he's going to have people over. He might have parties. I get that. I'm wondering though if there wasn't a lot. I mean, he probably tried to stay more low key because Celeste was a minor and he didn't want to be charged. I think it did say, "Oh yes," it's what it sounds like to me. Hold on, I will. Look, look. I just got up and shut that door. Now y'all got to shut the door. Look, 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 look. Don't make me. Hold on, y'all. I do want coffee. Thank you. That was very nice of you. Okay. Let me put the volume back on. Sorry. Yeah, it sounds like "oh yes" to me. I don't want to know why they are screaming. Like, yeah, girl, what you doing out there? But he's saying they were relatively quiet and didn't have loud, noisy parties. Yeah, I'm thinking that David definitely tried to be low key because of Celeste. He probably got very upset about them being out there being loud, if I had to guess. Seemed that way. Here's where he's calling them clowns. Misrepresent what I said today. They are claiming that I've identified. Okay, let's read this one about where he talks about the driver. He makes long posts. Thank you so much for the coffee.
Make sure you don't fuck up.
Don't be cussing on my stream. You have fucked up. You have fucked up. You have fucked up. You have done fucked up. Now you have fucked up. Hannah said he was a gamer. More likely he had online parties, and most gamers wear noise canceling headphones. You're right. You're right. Because there was pictures of him and Celeste on that thing, and I think she said like you RAPE children. A bullshit. Auntie Ray, not me having eaten nothing but absolute junk all day. Good to see you. That's not a bad thing. It's Saturday, the day after Halloween. It'll be all right. You get a pass. So he says, so I honestly have no idea how Harvey Levin from TMZ and attorney Mark Gregos can blatantly misrepresent what I've said. Today, they are claiming I have identified the driver of the Tesla on the July 29th because there was only one key to the house and one key to the Tesla, and that this somehow allowed me to isolate the person responsible. I've been very clear from the beginning that I identified the driver through surveillance footage. The individual was wearing something highly distinctive in that footage, and the exact same clothing was worn approximately 12 hours earlier inside the house when several people were present for a get-together. How anyone could extrapolate from that statement that there was only one key to the house and to the Tesla, and this is how I identified the driver, is beyond me. For the record, an app can be used to grant driving access or remote start, so the one key theory isn't even logical. And Mark, I never claimed David or Josh didn't have duplicate keys made. Likely they did. I said the owner provided one physical key for security reasons, and that whoever had been given access to the house through duplicate keys David had made likely also had access to the Tesla. That was also said before I obtained the surveillance that shows who was driving. Finally, I completely disagree with Harvey's assertion that if medical examiner rules the cause of death undetermined, the DA, quote, can't make the case, unquote. The cause or manner of death has no impact on concealment of a body charge. That crime happened, full stop. And there is surveillance video with significant evidentiary value. A concealment charge does not evaporate because the autopsy cannot determine a specific cause of death. I believe both of you are smart enough to understand this. You are simply creating drama for the sake of your show. Boy, I'm glad he pointed that out. Hey, honeybee. You think that SF Investigates is just looking for fame? I don't know. Some of the things he has done has been controversial. But I mean, I've heard that like he's claimed that he found somebody and he didn't. I don't know. Either way, he's privy to information that we don't have on this case, and I trust what he says. Even when he came out and said that they found the baby in the Emmanuel Haro case. We'll read this. That he came out and said that he was mistaken. And he apologized for posting it. Hey, Bella's boys. I like SF. He is calm and logical. It's probably frustrating when people misrepresent what he says. I agree. I think he's trying to help. He does get involved with high-profile cases, but I mean, he's trying to help. It appears to me, and regardless, like he appears to be doing good things, in my opinion. So here it says PI found items at David's home. The LAPD didn't collect evidence, quote, consistent, unquote, with tools to conceal a body. Warrants purchases don't prove guilt. Last night, SF and I joined Benny Politan to discuss the latest on Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Watch the clip below and then read my recap. This was from Lauren Colin.
Not a person of interest, but
in what you went through in the house, did you find any evidence of criminal behavior?
So, it's not a crime to think about doing certain things, but we found some things that had been delivered to the house that just don't belong there, or don't belong in any type of environment like that. And they are things that you could use to get rid of a person if you wanted to. And they're really, people say, oh, it's got to be tools and stuff. It's beyond that. It's really sadistic stuff. Now, LAPD didn't take it, but they have told us that they photographed it. But again, that's not a crime, just ordering these things,
It is concerning to me that.
See, the fact that he says sadistic makes me think that it's like a sickle or a scythe. Something like that, like the Grim Reaper shearer thing that they used to cut down long grass. And SF is doing more to find evidence than the LAPD has so far, in my opinion. It's important to keep law enforcement accountable because we know they have been corrupt in the past or in past cases. And I agree with that, especially the LAPD. I listen to several different creators who talk about the LAPD and the corruption there. It's just not acceptable. Oh, no, you're okay, Kate. I mean, some people don't. I mean, Kate said, oh, wait, it's SF. I didn't realize. I apologize. No, you're fine. You're fine. Some people don't like SF Investigates. But I mean, again, just like with Lauren Matthias, me, and every other YouTuber you watch on here, you're going to have people that don't like you, and that's okay. He has done some controversial things in the past, and I can see both sides of it. I think he's doing good in this case. He appears to be very advocating for Celeste and the fact that she was a child in the company of adults and nobody seemed to care. And that's fucked up regardless on the LAPD's part alone. And I hope that they do charge the people involved in this like he's talking about, because why is it acceptable in Los Angeles or California, or, it appears to be acceptable that children are being abused and the police just don't give a shit. Why? It doesn't matter if we're talking about the Hollywood Hills or a fucking town in Iowa or Illinois or Maine or Canada or Berlin. All of it's the same. No children should be abused anywhere. And just because it's Hollywood or Los Angeles, it shouldn't matter. People should still be held accountable. Yes, Rubber, opinions are welcomed and respected. Yep. You were in the kitchen when you heard who it was. Okay. Yeah, but you're free. I mean, I don't want an echo chamber. Everybody is free to have their opinions here.
So much stuff was left behind in the house that Steve was collecting, as evidence because he's working for the homeowner. Some of this stuff that Steve and I have talked about offline, it's weird. I'm sorry. It's just strange that the LAPD didn't take this stuff with them when they had their search warrant. David, not a suspect, not a person of interest, but he canceled all of his tours. That's a lot of money. He hasn't been seen.
Very true. And if he's not a person of interest, who is? When will we know that? I've lost what respect I gave back to the Riverside County DA's office. In their press release about Jake Hara's guilty plea, they say the following, quote, Jake Hara's guilty pleas were to the court and not a plea agreement with the district attorney's office. In a plea to the court, a defendant enters guilty pleas to all charged counts, and the judge in the case determines the sentence a defendant will serve. Haro faces a potential sentence of 25 years to life in prison, unquote. SF says, yes, this would be a great deal if Jake did that to first-degree homicide that he was charged with. What you failed to disclose is that you filed an amended complaint reducing the charges to second-degree homicide, essentially a backdoor plea deal. And then you sealed the amended complaint from the public. Then you claim in your press release it's out of your hands. He pled to the court. They think we are a bunch of dummies. You gave him a second-degree deal without the body, unless this is a deal for him to roll on Rebecca, which maybe it is, because if he doesn't, then they have to reduce her charges or drop them altogether. Either way, Emmanuel loses. Very true. I didn't know. And didn't we hear, just speaking about that case briefly as we continue to talk about David, we heard them say in the press conference that I can pull up if necessary on YouTube that they were not going to go with any plea deals in that case. And that's what they did. I was already upset about that. But then to find out that they let him plead down to second-degree homicide is even more infuriating. I had a friend whose father was high up in the LAPD. There were big problems with racism and going after certain types of people, while others were not arrested for major crimes due to who they were. Yep, exactly.
Boom, 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 bam.
Completely unacceptable. There should be no racism anywhere ever, but sadly there is. Her father said it would be dangerous to confront the other officers and you would ding drugs planted in your locker if you dared. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Still no apology from Matt Thibodeau to Kylie's family. That shows you have no integrity, Matt. You owe her that to her family. Lying about their deceased daughter and grandchild is a disgrace. I hope you will unfollow Matt on TikTok. He doesn't deserve a voice. My family and I continue to be deeply grateful for everything you did to help us find my granddaughter, Kylie. When law enforcement scaled back and stepped away, you remained steady, compassionate, and determined. I'll never forget those early mornings when you met with Daniel and I, offering not only your expertise, but your quiet strength and presence. It was your drone footage that ultimately led to the discovery of Kylie's vehicle, a pivotal moment in our search, and yet you humbly stepped aside and let others take the credit, never losing sight of the one thing that truly mattered, bringing Kylie home. Your commitment, integrity, and selflessness meant more to us than words can express. You are a source of hope in our darkest hours, and we will never forget what you did for our family. Please keep in touch. Kindly, Grandpa David Robertson. I don't know what Matt did, but he has appeared on Facebook. All right, this will be the last thing I read in the David case. And then we will move on to talk about Sheriff Stines. Best doormat it ever said, quote, we are not sugar and spice and everything nice. We are sage and hood and wish a mofo would. I love that. I need that doormat for my house. Matter of fact, I brought my white sage up from the garden way in the back so that it doesn't die, because white sage is really hard to get to grow, and I love my white sage so much. Not Matt Thibodeau. So much drama out there with some of these people, right? I have a cousin who's a detective in a cybercrime unit of my local PD, and if you was ever arrested, I know he wouldn't get involved. Really. I can confirm, said SF, I am the private investigator retained by the owner of the house. Lauren said, officially confirmed Hollywood Hills mansion owner has officially retained the services of P.I. Stephen Fisher amid the ongoing investigation into the death of Celeste Rivas. What is this? There are no pictures of Celeste on Video Drive because she stayed at his first rental house a mile away at 804 Doheny Drive. Huh. Interesting. Oh, okay. I thought you might have meant I. No, I didn't. Mark was mentioned yesterday. Where was Mark mentioned? That's awesome. I don't know. My phone does it automatically, and so if I need to turn it back, I do it. So if you get up in the morning and your phone is an hour back, then you can change your clocks on the wall. Oh, this Matt Thibodeau, a Bullhorn Betty fanboy, continues to spread false information about serious cases. Today, he said Steve Fisher, the guy that was kicked off the Kylie Rodney case, the truth doesn't matter to Matt, only clicks and views. I sent the link to his video to Kylie's family. Kylie's grandfather, David, sent a response I hope Matt would read. Matt would learn a thing or two about integrity from a man like David, but he won't. Matt doesn't give a damn about families or victims, only himself. Matt has reported one false story after another in cases I've worked, from Riley Strain to Sebastian Rogers, where he sank so low as to accuse Sebastian's mother and stepfather of killing him, to Hannah Kobayashi, where he was completely wrong. In the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case, he even used images I obtained as an investigator, removed the watermark, and presented them as his own. Kylie's grandfather, David, sent me this email after I sent him Matt's link. He also said he responded directly to Matt through TikTok, but Matt doesn't care unless he can monetize. Ooh. Not good. All right. Luckily, my phone automatically changes. I forget every time. Yep. Set clocks back an hour at 12 a.m. Awesome. Awesome. That's good. I like it when the time changes in the fall when we get an extra hour. Quickly, let's talk about Melodee Buzzard because this just popped up on my computer tab, and then we'll talk about Sheriff Stines before we go for the day. Let me show you guys. I know you guys know Little Red who was in here. Bullhorn Betty is still around, unfortunately. Little Red who was in here earlier is doing a live right now. Diane Downs Part 2. No hell, no parole. That's funny. All right. While I'm getting this video real quick for our Sheriff Stines information, we're going to talk about Melodee Buzzard real quick. She's on life support. Currently, her channel is tanking, but still floating around. Lord have mercy. Gracious in the morning. Unfortunately. Oh, thank you, honey bunny. I try to stay on here with y'all for as long as I can. I might have to shorten it when we move. I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, this article is titled FBI Searches Home of Missing 9-Year-Old Melodee Buzzard. You might already know this, but we're going to read it anyway. Let me get a sip of my fresh coffee. I don't know if y'all can hear the rooster, but he's letting everybody know those are his ladies. Stay away. All right, the article starts. FBI officials and Santa Barbara County investigators conducted a search at the home of Melodee Buzzard, a 9-year-old girl missing since early October. Melodee was last seen with her mother, Ashley Buzzard, on October 7th, according to the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department. The search began on October 14th after a school administrator reported Melodee's prolonged absence. On Thursday, federal and local investigators served a search warrant at the Buzzard's residence on Mars Avenue near Constellation Road in Lampic. They also searched a storage locker and the rental car in which Melodee was last seen. Detectives believe that Ashley and her daughter traveled from Santa Barbara County to Nebraska in a white Chevrolet Malibu rental. During the searches, Ashley was escorted to an alternate location to avoid interference with the investigation, as reported by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department. Authorities are still working with limited information, relying on years-old photos and facing challenges due to Ashley's alleged uncooperativeness. Surveillance images from October 7th show Melodee wearing a wig and a hooded sweatshirt, possibly to disguise her appearance. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff has expressed hope that Melodee might be with someone unaware of the circumstances, and I'm right there with them in that. I hope to God the mother, because the mother obviously in this case is not well, and I hope to God that she gave her to somebody who's just unaware that she's missing. Maybe told her about, like, said it's a different name, gave them different names or something. I don't know. And has told Melodee, your name's not Melodee, your name's Vanessa, for example. And don't ever respond to Melodee or it could get you killed. Like, you don't know what her mother's thinking mentally and what she could have told Melodee and the people who have her. So hopefully Melodee is alive and safe and just isn't located yet. You did, Kate? I loved it too. You saw her last night on a Halloween show, did you? Got all your cleaning done? That's awesome, honey bunny. Thank you for being here. It continues. The investigation continues as detectives focus on the critical timeline between October 7th and October 10th. They urge the public to share information that could assist in locating Melodee. Sheriff Bill Brown emphasized the importance of public cooperation, stating, quote, "We remain determined to bring her home safely." There is that photo of her going to the storage unit, appearing to wear a wig and a hooded sweatshirt. I was like, I know her mama didn't cut off all of that beautiful hair, but you can tell, like, the hood is so pushed out that it appears her hair probably is up under there and under the wig because of how far the hood is pushed out. You know what I mean? To her sweater. Lord knows, I hope she's located safe. I've never heard of anybody firing fireworks for Halloween. That's crazy. This is the first case I think they can really find the child. Lord, I hope so. Ever love me. The mother had previously ran from the law family who were trying to gain custody of Melodee. She ran to Iowa, which is near Nebraska. I didn't know that, Texas. Thank you for that information. Interesting. So if there's things going on like that as well with like custody interference and her trying to keep Melodee from other family members, which I knew she didn't have much to do with Melodee's father's side of the family, but I didn't know, all of this. She very well could be hiding her in fears that they're going to get custody or something. Really? I've never heard of fireworks for Halloween. That's crazy to me. All right. Now we're going to talk about Sheriff Stines. You might have seen this, you might not have. I haven't watched it yet, and I wanted to watch it with you guys. Evidently, his daughter is speaking out for a bonfire, which is November 5th. I want to make a bonfire on November 5th. Apparently, Ashley has family in Nebraska as well. So if her family's in Nebraska, I hope they would cooperate with police. The mom is supposedly mentally unstable, and I think she sold or hid her somewhere. It could even all be in her head, thinking she was doing the right thing. Right, exactly. That's what's so paramount in this case is the mom's mental wellness, which is bothersome. Fireworks, Halloween's, birthdays, Guy Fawkes, New Year's, etc. Interesting. Leela has a lot to say. Who is Leela? Is that a family member of hers? Okay, so we're going to talk about the daughter of Sheriff Mickey Stines, who has come out to speak about her father. Which, okay, let me lay this out for you. In the video where we saw, oh, it's Stines' daughter. Okay. In the video where we saw Sheriff Stines shoot the judge, he does it after he looks at a phone number or looks at the phone or something, okay? Now, this is another thing, you know how I talk about you hear things in the beginning of a case, but then you don't ever hear them again. In the beginning of the case, rumor had it, Sheriff Stines' daughter was interning for the judge, okay? And the thing that was being said in the very beginning is that Mickey Stines picked up the phone and could have allegedly, a theory is maybe he saw the photo, like the save photo in the judge's phone for his daughter. Allegedly he tried to call his daughter from his phone. She didn't answer. And then he tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone and she answered. Now, what was on that phone, we don't know. That hasn't been talked about much anymore. If she answered the phone, something, you know, didn't answer for her dad, but then the judge calls and she picks up and says, "Hey, baby." Or if her photo, that like the contact photo or name was saved, like, you know, sexy biatch or something, you know, that could have set him off to that point. Text messages maybe he looked at on the judge's phone between his daughter and the judge could have set him off. We do know the night before the shooting that Sheriff Stines and his wife got in an argument, and Sheriff Stines' wife kicked him out of the house, and he had been sleeping in his car or at the police station, and that's why he had not changed clothes the morning that he shot the judge. So if we go back to the night before the shooting, Sheriff Stines gets in an argument with his wife. Okay, she kicks him out of the house. He sleeps in his car or at somewhere. We don't know where. The next day he goes into work or to the jail, to the courthouse. He sees the judge with a bunch of other people at lunch. They're at a cafe down there. And then he talks to the judge, says he needs to talk to him. And the judge says, "Come to my chambers." After lunch, he goes there. He tries to make a phone call, and then he picks up the judge's phone, and a call was coming in, or he made a call. He sets the phone down and then proceeds to shoot the judge. Afterward, he says, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and daughter." Now, one theory we've had, oh yeah, well, she was underage. She was 17 at the time. Curious Christine, good to see you. I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better, love. And this is all, you know, we speculate here. This is all speculation. It is a speculation that I have is maybe, like, what would make me so upset that I would shoot somebody? Well, if somebody's messing with my child, absolutely. I'm wondering if maybe, because we know the judge was a bit of a hound dog, to put it nicely. I'm wondering if the judge was being inappropriate with Sheriff Stines' daughter when she would intern for him, okay? And then that's going on. And the judge also, it could be being inappropriate with Stines' wife. Stines gets in an argument with her, says, you know, "I know you're having an affair with the judge. That needs to stop," etc., etc. She kicks him out of the house, denies all of that, and goes to the judge's chambers to say, "Hey, are you sleeping with my wife? Sleeping, you know, whatever's going on with my daughter." And then the judge, being so callous, sitting there smoking a cigarette in the fucking courthouse, not giving a shit, says something like, "Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Also, I'm fucking your daughter too." Something to that extent. Could that be what happened? And then, you know, if somebody did that to me, I'd pull out a gun. Yeah, I'm fucking your wife. I'm fucking your daughter, your child, either one or both. What are you going to do about it? Well, that would cause me to get as mad as Sheriff Stines did and shoot that motherfucker. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, you know, he was a hound dog, to say the least. So that's my speculation on that. Let's see what the daughter has to say.
We're going to begin this hour, though, with brand new developments for you in the case of former Kentucky Sheriff Mickey Stines. He's accused of murdering Judge Kevin Mullins, and his daughter is now speaking out. This video here shows him shooting Kevin Mullins to death in the judge's office a year ago. At the time, there were rumors and some statements in the courtroom that led people to believe that this had something to do with Stines' underage daughter. Well, during grand jury testimony last month, a detective revealed that Mullins did not have any sort of relationship with Stines' daughter. And now, for the first time, we're hearing from 18-year-old Lila Stines, who talked about it on TikTok. We're playing the whole video for you unedited. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lila Stines. I am 18 years old, and I am from Letcher County, Kentucky. Most of you may know me, and the others may recognize my last name. On September 19th, a little over a year ago, a lot of people's lives changed forever, including mine. I'm not going to go into detail. I will not be talking about it, but I just have one question.
Yes, yes, thank you, Cindy. Please know I am speaking hypothetically. I do want to reiterate, I was not there. I did not see. I don't know. I don't know the private matters of anybody's family. So that was just, a speculation that I've had. Now, this is his daughter. She appears to have several tattoos. Now, unless she got a bunch of tattoos, I know she was 17 as of the time that Mickey shot Mullins. So I don't know. That appears to be a rabbit, it looks like to me, like above her chest. I don't know. It has affected a lot of people. I think it could have been, but see, I don't know if the one thing that doesn't add up to me with my theory is if that was true, then why wouldn't he claim like emotional distress, heat of passion when he goes to court? That doesn't make sense to me, because it seems like he'd do better with the heat of in the moment homicide. Anyway, let's see what she has to say.
Do you all not have anything better to do than to sit and gossip?
Let me be the first to respond about that. You're talking about a sheriff who shot a judge in a town that everybody knows is corrupt. So yeah, and it made the news. I mean, nobody gets to pick if they want their story of their family to hit the news or not. Unfortunately, she is a victim in this case, a victim regardless of what happened. She's a victim because her father is shot this judge, and her life is forever changed now. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that she's having to go through this. I'm sorry it's her family, but it's going to be talked about. I get her. I can respect her feelings and thoughts on the situation. I would probably feel the same way if I was in her position. However, it's going to be talked about, and people are going to speculate, especially in a town that was known for corruption. Kate C said, I do feel bad for Mickey Stines. His mom must have been all over the place. Yep. Did his daughter get in trouble and she was treated the way the other girls were? In my opinion, that's what I think. So you think that she got in trouble for something and the judge basically said, you could perform a favor for me to get out of the charges. That's a good theory, honey bunny. I didn't think about that. A speculation, hypothetical situation. Zan said people are going to talk about true crime cases. This young lady should get off social media. Yeah, I think she probably made it worse by coming out and speaking on it. I'll back it up a smidge.
You are taking my pain and making it your pleasure. You're taking our stories and turning them into big entertainment pieces, jokes, and for that matter, you're making it your income. Since when did that become okay?
Well, sweetheart, the news has been doing it. Mainstream media has been doing it since televisions were invented. I again, I am sorry. She is a victim, regardless of anything that happened or didn't happen. She is a victim. And I'm sorry that it just so happens to be your family and your pain. I do have compassion for that, but it's going to be talked about. If not by me, then by somebody else and by somebody else. And as you can see, this video is on court TV. So I am sorry.
So my advice to the people doing that, get a job, do something meaningful with your life, and contribute to society in a positive way.
Okay. I think that that's a great thing to say. And for her to be 18 years old and to think like that, get a job, contribute meaningfully to society and do something positive. I would think that she's attempting to live her life the same way, which I am very grateful for. I'm very glad that she is trying to do positive things and be a good person and contribute to society in a meaningful way. I'm very happy for her for that. People talking about things, I don't think necessarily need to get a job and you know, all of the other things. I have done positive things in my life and I have contributed to society, but I also talk about things and people are going to talk. Cindy said, no, baby girl, we report the news and follow true crime. I'm sorry for your pain. Hopefully you'll find your peace. Thank you. That was the best statement that could be made, I think.
That's all. I come on here today to address a couple things about yesterday's video. When I posted that video, I only had about 950 followers. I did not think it would go anywhere. I thought, you know, people from home's going to see it, maybe a couple others, and that'll be that. So the first thing I want to say is I had good intentions with that video. A lot of you were asking, what stories? What do you mean by gossip? And what
we're going to pause. Zan said Hillbilly Crime Elizabeth was on with Court TV and said there's a rumor that Stines was being lured up a secluded hill to deliver meals with the pastor right before the incident. And yeah, I've heard that the pastor, I remember, since you're bringing up the pastor, I remember that there was a rumor that the pastor used to be like some kind of big drug dealer and he changed his life and became pastor, because it's like, it's with everybody. The DA was related to the judge through his marriage. Everybody, like the whole town's fucked up. It's interesting that's interesting that you say that about the pastor who was allegedly a former drug dealer and became a pastor, when we take into consideration it was a week after the deposition with his with the person under him that was running the drug program and allegedly trading sexual favors for ankle monitors. Why does she look like Justin? Good question, Kelly. The media is the real thing. Sadly, some people take advantage of the families. Not all. She needs to start writing her book and use this to make the change she wants to see. That's a wonderful idea, Ever Love Me. I think that would be great for her to do. Couple of boxes as opposed to the usual number. Before the incident, he went storming into the judge's chamber with the pastor in tow. Wow. So that makes me question, maybe did somebody confess to the pastor that they were in a relationship with the judge and it was somebody close to Stines? It was the same day too. Interesting.
with that video, a lot of you were asking, what stories? What do you mean by gossip? And what I mean by that is the stories that were made up about me and the other party, and that is where the gossip comes in at. I wasn't actually talking about the situation and what actually happened itself. I was more leaning towards the rumors that had been spread about me. I am aware of how serious this is and how much of a
So the rumors, like the one that my speculation that we just talked about, that allegedly she was interning and that something inappropriate might have happened. Those are the rumors she's talking about.
I am aware of how serious this is and how much of a big deal it is. I was not talking about news or social media. I was simply talking about the people who sit at home behind a keyboard all day and say terrible things about my name. That's who I was talking about. At the end of the
So when people do that, I smile. It's something, I mean, again, like y'all said, bless her. It's something that got out in the beginning, and I understand that if that didn't happen, you wouldn't want it said. Until we get some answers, people are going to speculate. And I am sorry for her pain and for her suffering and everything that she's going through. I am. I don't think that things like that should be presented as 100% concrete evidence. But as I stated and my chat reiterated, that it's just a speculation or a hypothetical situation that we talked about. Even information presented by Hillbilly Crime also was presented as a rumor. People are going to speculate until the answers are made available, unfortunately. And I'm sorry to her that she has to go through that, especially if it's not true. I really do feel sorry for her in that aspect. But people have questions and they want answers. And when that is not going to happen because the investigation is ongoing, people speculate. Doubt it. In my honest opinion, the pastor is a hound dog too and a crook. I don't know much about the pastor other than allegedly it was rumored that he used to be a big dope dude. I fear for all involved in the case. I think her father lost it. Very possible.
day, I'm just human. I'm just trying to learn how to process and cope with it all. I do want to add one more thing. A lot of you were saying, girl, this happened a year ago. Like, why are you still going on about it? To you, it happened a year ago. For me, when I wake up, it's the first thing I see on my phone. It's the last thing I see when I lay down. And I'm not looking for it. It's just right in my face. I have to deal with it every day when I wake up. So no, it's not gone. It's not died down. It won't for a while.
Now, Court TV has reached out to Lila Stines and to the defense attorney who represents her dad, former Sheriff Mickey Stines, to get some comment on this video. At this point in time, we have not heard back, but we hope to, and we'll continue our coverage, hopefully, as we do. So let's dig in a bit and talk about this. So
I do want to hear the analysis in this. Ever Love Me said, I think of the gross content creators, and I can see why she would be mad for who they cover the story, for how they cover the story, but others do it well. They don't attack and speculate like us. Right. She's going to say, actually, it did happen, and that's the reason my dad did what he did, is she? Of course, she's going to deny it all, in my opinion. I think she isn't going to say, actually, it did happen, and that's the reason my dad did what he did. Right. Like, she's not going to say, obviously, you make a good point. She's not going to come out here and say, all of the rumors are true. What you think, what some people have alleged happened, did happen. You know, I was abused, I was groomed, et cetera, because nobody would want that out. And it could mess up her father's defense. I know she wants to speak out while being very careful because of her father's defense and not wanting to mess anything up. But again, all I know to say is until we have answers, people are going to speculate. She did. She's very pretty. Wonders if Lauren saw this. Sounds very familiar. Yeah, some are just disgusting.
the sheriff's daughter was a minor at the time of the incident in question. Now she's 18 and spoke out on TikTok, and the video, as she said, got a lot more traction than she thought. Let's talk a bit about this and the rumors that have been swirling that there was some kind of relationship between her and the judge. Let's bring in to help us do that to the chief trial attorney in the Muskegon County, Michigan District Attorney's Office, Matt Roberts. Matt, good morning to you. So a lot of the speculation developed after the preliminary hearing when the testimony was noticeably restricted. It was very clear the witness was being very careful, the prosecutor was being careful what was being revealed, and we knew.
Yeah, because of the corruption. I mean, it could be related to that. It could be related to abuse against minors, or it could be because of the corruption there. He said, does anyone believe this story? What, that she didn't have anything to do with him? She did look like Alyssa Milano, too. Yes, she did.
That the judge and the sheriff were very good friends for a long period of time. We knew on the date in question, I believe it was the 19th of September, 2024, they had gone out to lunch that day. So they were palling around at lunchtime, went back to the judge's chambers with some other folks from the county. And at one point, the sheriff asks everyone to leave to talk with the judge privately. And we know that he asks the judge to hand over his cell phone, and the judge does. And we know that from the evidence we've been given, that Sheriff Stines makes a call from the judge's phone that goes unanswered. And there was a teeny bit of information that came out at the preliminary hearing about.
So that call that went unanswered is going to tell us a lot, I think. She was vile in the Kylie Rodney case. You don't believe that they're not all connected. I think they are. I could see that they're all connected, and this could be true or not be true.
The judge possibly having the sheriff's daughter's number in his phone. And so everyone made lots of leaps and conclusions and inferences. And now here we are with this young girl speaking out publicly, clearly in a lot of pain. Matt, what do you think about all of this? What's your takeaway looking at it objectively from afar?
Well, good morning, Julie. It's great to be here. This case really just highlights what becomes a problem for a lot of prosecutors in cases, in that people always want to know the why of it. And oftentimes in cases, and it's usually not required that we establish a motive, but there's this natural desire in a case like this, like why would a guy who's in law enforcement kill his friend who is a judge? There has to be a why. And then you take a little morsel of what that reason could be, and in the age of social media where it's like a game of telephone amplified times a million, you take that and you run with it, and as a result of that, now you have this 18-year-old girl who's thinks that her only option is to take to social media itself to try to defend herself. And I respect that, but it probably just makes the situation worse. It probably just amplifies it even more for her. But
I agree. I don't know that she made it any better for herself by doing this. Zan said Stines could have been feeling tons of stress about all the corruption and fought with his wife over stuff unrelated to the incident. He could have been reacting to threats against his daughter or wife, and you are absolutely right. That is a possibility. We just don't know. A threat from the judge right then might have sent him over the edge. It's entirely possible. Entirely possible. Zan, what is your photo? Is that a cat running from like an explosion? That's pretty cool if it is.
Certainly understand her desire to want to get out and explain herself here. So it's really just a tragedy all around, and just an example of how a little bit of information in the wrong hands can just be absolutely devastating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Matt. And you hit the nail on the head with everyone wanting to know the why. Understandably so. How did two friends, colleagues with a great relationship for years and years, how does it suddenly go south to the point that one shoots the other, point blank in his chambers on video, and then, very peacefully turns himself in like
That was what was so weird about it, because he was so like concise and just turned himself in, laid his firearm down, in the courtroom and turned himself in. And then we see the body cam of outside the courtroom where he's freaking out and thinking that they're gonna have him homicided. Zan said the fact that he kept asking for his daughter when he was in custody makes me think there was a threat. Maybe he thought his daughter was being held. Possibly. Is it? That's really cool. Possibly. It makes sense.
I mean, it's mind-boggling how this happens. During that hearing, going back to the prelim, I can't understand if there wasn't something that needed to be protected. I don't know why those investigators weren't just a little more forthcoming at that prelim and said, whatever was the reason. What do you think, Matt?
Well, prelims can be very tricky from a prosecution standpoint because obviously the standard is probable cause. It's a low burden when you look at the overall.
Okay, so we got the gist of that. I did, yes, all speculation, of course. I did pull up her TikTok, so I think we'll go ahead and switch over to that. I mean, we know the rest of it pretty much from what we've seen and heard in the case so far. I figured that we would try to hear more from her. I found her. She appears to have 6 videos, so we'll watch what she said, like from the first video to the last video. Hold on.
My name is Lila Stines. Hello, everyone. My name is Lila Stines. I am 18 years old, and I am from Letcher County, Kentucky. Most of you may know me, and the others may recognize my last name. On September 19th, a little over a year ago, a lot of people's lives changed forever, including mine. I'm not going to go into detail. I will not be talking about it. But I just have one question.
Quickly, what I thought was a rabbit appears to be a hummingbird, and she appears to have pine cones or grenades. I can't tell which one on her arm.
Do you all not have anything better to do than to sit and gossip? You are taking my pain and making it your pleasure. You're taking our stories and turning them into big entertainment pieces, jokes, and for that matter, you're making it your income. Since when did that become okay? So my advice to the people doing that, get a job, do something meaningful with your life, and contribute to society in a positive way. That's all. Hello, everyone.
So that was the first video, and here's the second.
I come on here today to address a couple things about yesterday's video. When I posted that video, I only had about 950 followers. I did not think it would go anywhere. I thought, people from home's going to see it, maybe a couple others, and that'll be that. So the first thing I want to say is I had good intentions with that video. A lot of you were asking, what stories? What do you mean by gossip? And what I mean by that is the stories that were made up about me and the other party. And that is where the gossip comes in at. I wasn't actually talking about the situation and what actually happened itself. I was more leaning towards the rumors that had been spread about me. I am aware of how serious this is and how much of a big deal it is. I was not talking about news or social media. I was simply talking about the people who sit at home behind a keyboard all day and say terrible things about my name.
I lost. Kim said the only mainstream media personality that wasn't vile during Kylie Rodney was Vinny. He's the only one CTV that I watch now. Really? In fact, he's the only mainstream media I watch. Vinny was unbiased. I'm behind, but you're absolutely right with your speculation with Judge and Stines. You think so? I had to write it in chat. She said something, and I wanted to discuss it real quick. Hold on.
A lot of you were asking what stories, what do you mean by gossip? And what I mean by that is the stories that were made up about me and the other party. And that
Her family, it is big news. I think that she is very much affected by this situation. I mean, if anybody would be affected, it's obviously going to be the family. And that's his
is
baby
where the
girl, you
gossip
know.
comes in at.
I do
I
feel
wasn't
for her.
actually talking about the situation and what actually happened itself. I was more leaning towards the rumors that had been spread about me. I am aware of how serious this is and how much of a big deal it is. I was not talking about news or social media. I was simply talking about the people who sit at home behind a keyboard all day and say terrible things about my name. That's who I was talking about. At the end of the day, I'm just human. I'm just trying to learn how to process and cope with it all.
Corn Dad, good to see you. Was there life insurance on the judge? I don't think so. But that's an interesting theory. I wouldn't have thought about that either. I don't know. The family seemed very distraught during the preliminary hearing when they saw the video. So I don't know. Like, I don't know that necessarily the wife would have contacted her sister, who was Stines. No. Yeah, I don't know that the women got together and were like, we need to take him out because he's a cheating hound dog, and collect the life insurance, because the family seemed overly distraught, but maybe it was an act. I don't know. Interesting theory you got there.
I do want to add one more thing. A lot of you were saying, girl, this happened a year ago. Like, why are you still going on about it? To you, it happened a year ago. For me, when I wake up, it's the first thing I see on my phone. It's the last thing I see when I lay down. And I'm not looking for it. It's just right in my face. I have to deal with it every day when I wake up. So no, it's not gone. It's not died down. It won't for a while.
Yeah.
I come on here today
You wouldn't.
to address a couple things about yesterday's video. When
Okay, that was the second video. Yeah, he wouldn't get it, and I don't know who he'd be working with about it. All right, so here's the next video.
Hello, everyone. This is my friend Ashley, and she just made a video about our private investigator, Joel Cotton. I have his email. I will leave it in the description down below. If you all have any information at all concerning the corruption in this county, in this small town, please reach out to him. Please. He's not only trying to help the situation that happened here, he's also trying to help Ashley figure out what happened to her dad years ago. I also want to say, if there is anybody out there saying he is misrepresenting himself, I can name 2 people. I want to tell you that he is not. He is legitimate, he is the real deal, and he is trying to help everyone in this small county. Hello, everyone.
So we saw a video from her in the very beginning, and she talked about how her dad was homicided and left in a car and not found or something. Like, it was weird. And so it appeared that her dad had been homicided by somebody in power in the community. I don't remember the TikTok video specifically, but it was pretty interesting. I'm glad that they have a private investigator hired to try to figure out all of this.
Generals gathered in their masses.
Okay, I gotta mute that. Big things coming soon. Stay tuned. Oh, she's doing interviews for somebody. Who's she interviewing with? That's a media company where she's on media. Like, yeah. So there's going to be a tell-all come out at some point. That's what Murdoch did. If they knew both were going down, it's usually Smex or money. I don't know about this case yet. Yeah, I don't know either. Probably one of the two. I think the first thing she would think of is her dad in jail, not what's on her phone, but she's young. They're stuck to their phones. True. But if they had an agreement, they could split. And who knows, someone with joint relationship could be the beneficiary. But again, this is the first I'm listening on this one. It's a possibility, Corn Dead. I mean, anything's possible until we know the truth. Wait, if the people behind the keyboards are not social media, who is she talking about? I think she means like the people, I think she means like social media, but it's saying it differently. I think she means the people on TikTok and on YouTube talking about the case, who are doing a disservice.
To run some errands. Get ready with me to run some errands while I discuss a couple things. So, a lot of you saw my last video, well, photos. And I just want to say that a lot of things that are in the dark, they are coming to light, hopefully soon. Now, when I posted my first couple of videos, I was really shocked at what the main comments were. Some of them were like, oh, you're 18 and you have that many tattoos. Or I even got a couple comments that was like, she is a he. Like, is that what we're doing? Is that really what we're doing? I think it's really funny that so many.
So here it kind of shows that, you know, her how young she is, to think that, you know, she's going to post on TikTok and you're not going to have the ones that are like, oh my God, that's a guy, da 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 da. And she points out making money off of it. Yeah, she did. So it shows how young she is. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess we'll find out.
People have their panties in a wad about how many tattoos I have. And I feel like there's more serious problems in the world than my tattoos. And speaking of that, if anyone has any information, again, please reach out to Joel. I will leave his email again. He has worked state, federal, and private cases. Now is not the time to sit back and just be in the dark. He is trying to help. He's very trustworthy. So it doesn't matter how small it is, videos, pictures, screenshots, anything will help. Anything at all.
The fact that she's trying to get information, I hope it's not hidden true crime either, but the fact that she's trying to get information on specifically the corruption tells me again that it's got to do with the corruption in the county. Yeah, Lori Ann said, isn't she doing exactly what she doesn't want any of us to do? Pretty much. The fact that, I mean, that tells me that her dad killed him over the corruption.
I want to throw something else out there. I looked up the definition of insanity, and it's basically doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting change.
Yep.
The silence is over.
Okay, and the last video.
Get unready with me from working a double, and let's chat about a couple things. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. That is not a quote from me. That is a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. And I feel like it's pretty relevant. I just want to take a moment before I start talking about other things to thank all the people that have reached out to Joel. The information has been very, very, very helpful. So thank you all for that. If you want to be a part in this movement of exposing the corruption, you can email him too. And remember, the truth will stand when the world is on fire. I want to shift gears for a second and talk about a life lesson that my parents always taught me growing up. They always told me to never look down on someone unless you're helping them up. For me, that meant being kind, being polite, and not tearing down others. Because you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they went through 5 or 30 minutes ago. You don't know what's happened in their life. And it doesn't cost anything to be kind at all. But I know my intentions, and I know where my heart's at. I'm just trying to live my life, find some peace within that, and stand up for what's right. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's all the videos she's put out. Maybe. Okay. I don't know what can be done. I'm glad that they've got a private investigator working on it, and the fact that she's talking about the corruption in the county and wanting information on that specifically again tells me that it's definitely related to the corruption, like the stuff in her dad's case and all of that. So if he was meeting the pastor right before everything happened, and it's related to, I mean, I'm guessing it could be related to the corruption. The judge has been corrupt for a very, very long time, allegedly, and something came to a head that day. A head to where Mickey Stines felt like the only option was to take him out. Don't know what. I'm pretty positive the judge would have gotten a life insurance policy through his job. Most government jobs do. Probably. That makes sense. A lie will travel the world before the truth has gotten its boots on. Yep. The more I hear her talk, the more I think the judge was shot because Stines was overloaded with threats and being threatened on top of being paranoid, just a guess. Possibly. We won't know until we have court, and even at that, he's claiming like mental distress. It's a plea to where I don't know we'll even get the truth from that, because it's like going to be more focused on his mental health than the corruption in the town. I don't know. Kind of beside myself. Hey, Mariel, good to see you. I'm going to end it for the day, and we will be back on Monday. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. I will keep everybody in my prayers. I know everybody has a lot going on. I will do some research into getting some organizations together for people who want to donate to help people who need food, and finding resources for everybody who needs help with food. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me every single day as we talk about these cases and learning about it and sharing your thoughts, opinions, and speculations with me. I am so blessed to have a community as awesome as you all are. You guys never cease to amaze me, and I have so much love for our speculating family. I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday, and I will be back on Monday. Lorianne said some nefarious shit going down in Kentucky. I agree. Corndead says, sounds like heat of the moment, though, not planned. Right. And I'm like, why isn't he pleading for heat of the moment type thing instead of like the temporary insanity plea? You know what I mean? All right, y'all. If nobody has told you, you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I will see y'all on Monday. Bye.
I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore.
quickly, Kate just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much for that, Kate. The memberships went to Buffy 1162, Wendy Shea, Kelly, Christina Reynolds, Sun Lotus, Jill Corby, Nessa UK, and Purple, Shelly Stone, and Audelia Flowers. If you guys were gifted from Kate and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Kate thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. I'm going to grab the Haunted Train and play it again before I can't play it anymore, and I will pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Kate. That was so very sweet of you. I greatly appreciate it. All right, y'all. Thank you.